Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least requested, least demanded, and the least downloaded wrestling podcast, PCW. This could be a long podcast, so strap in and shut up and don't be a little bitch about it.
To the masters. Ruthless aggression.
Hey, it's your host, Semi-Dry Chicken. Welcome to another episode of PCW. And you know what? We're going to get right into it. I am not alone. Let me bring out my co-host.
Leave me, it's our time now to let them know. It's our time now to let them know. It's our time now to let them know.
Right hand man Dre, welcome back.
Yo, what it do, PCW crew?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, now let's, who else is coming out here to join us? Doyle, welcome back.
Oh, it's me. It's the Doyle. And I am covered in flour and turkey guts and cranberry sauce, but I'm ready to go.
I love it. And last but not least,
Step up, bring it. Yes, sir. Somebody gon' get their ass kicked. Somebody gon' get their wheels lit. Somebody gon' get their ass kicked. Somebody gon' get their wheels lit.
Dave, what are you cooking?
Yes, you do. I'm putting that turkey up here now, boy. Seasoning it down, rubbing it down with some butter there, boy.
That's right. This is the Thanksgiving edition of PCW because tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And you know what, guys? Every Thanksgiving, we have football, we got turkey, we get the family getting together. But you know what? There's always something else around this time. It's Survivor Series. And you know what, though? This year, it doesn't feel too much like Survivor Series. A little bit. Well, we got something called Survivor Series Wargames. You know what? Let's talk about that for a second. I've been a fan of the Wargames that they had in NXT. If any of you guys have watched any of those matches, they were really, really good. And to see that brought to the main roster, even though they were in WCW, back in the day, but for people who are watching the modern day wrestling, this is the first time they're bringing it, I believe, to the main roster. So I think it's going to be a nice treat. I guess this would have been a good place to put it. I can't really think of anywhere else. Just in general, Dre, have you seen War Game matches before? Is this your first experience with it?
Oh, no, see, I'm an old school head, so I remember War Games back in the old WCW days. Like, back in the day in, the late 80s and the 90s and stuff, I was more of a WCW NWA guy than old WWF. So, yeah, I have very fond and strong memories of classic War Games, the old Four Horsemen taking on Dusty Rhodes and his crew, or the dudes with attitude, Sting and all them taking on the Four Horsemen, even Team WCW versus NWO in those War Games matches. So War Games has always been one of my favorite matches. I've always loved it, always been a fan of it. So I haven't seen any of the matches in NXT other than a few highlights, but seeing it now finally coming to the main roster WWE after WCW was acquired back in 2001, whenever, no, it wasn't 2001, whatever, 2003, something like that.
Something like that.
2002, 2003, something like that. Yeah. When they bought it then, but that was one of the things that I was hoping that we would finally see on the main roster. All these old WCW assets that they can now take advantage of and integrate. So to see them finally having a real War Games match with main WWE roster, I'm all for it. I'm excited for it. And to me, it makes sense to have it at a Survivor Series pay-per-view. Right. It's something of that caliber, and it measures up, and hopefully they deliver. I can't wait for it.
Doyle, you the same way? Watching a lot of the WCW ones from 1991 all the way to 2000 in its height?
I never saw them really in context. I would see them on VHS video when I would rent them.
Right.
Sometimes years later. Mm-hmm. But, definitely grew up watching them. And I'm going to get on my old man yelling at the cloud a little bit here because Survivor Series was always one of my favorite of the big four pay-per-views. Of course, back then, that's all we had was 4 pay-per-views. And we were grateful, damn it. We were grateful. But maybe I look back on Survivor Series fondly because it would be the beginning of what a lifetime of sitting in the other room by myself watching wrestling. When I was a kid, I don't know about you guys. That's why we're all here. The pay-per-views would come in scrambled, but you could hear it perfectly, right? So Survivor Series was my favorite. I used to go and sit and watch the scramble, listen to it, and I distinctly remember The Undertaker's debut and not being able to see him. It was kind of like in Reservoir Dogs when they cut away from cutting the ear off. The thing you picture in your mind is way scarier than what you're actually going to see on the screen. Right. So I remember, waiting until the next week, Superstars or whatever, to see what The Undertaker looked like because I'd heard it, but I couldn't see it. But anyway, I loved Survivor Series back then because you saw stuff you never saw. You never saw Hogan and Jake the Snake and Demolition all in the ring together, let alone on the same team. So I love those traditional Survivor Series matchups, and I kind of hate that we're getting Survivor Series without the Survivor Series. It would be kind of like having the Royal Rumble pay-per-view without the Royal Rumble match. Now, we've done this a couple times. In 92, there was only 1 Survivor Series match. In 98, there were 0. But, of course, that was the Deadly Games tournament, which was won by...
Deadly Games
anybody?
Tournament. I have no idea.
The Rock. Good grief.
Oh, really? Good grief.
And then 2002, again, we had 0 matches, but it was the introduction of the Elimination Chamber.
Right.
So I was thinking, I guess this is about as good a place to put it as any at Survivor Series. But why don't they call it Fall Brawl? Why didn't they do it in October and call it Fall Brawl and leave Survivor Series to be Survivor Series?
Because I'm looking more statistics of War Games statistics than I would be Survivor Series. Because it's just it definitely just feels out of place. Kind of similar to when they put the Elimination Chamber out. They would put it in a different pay-per-view. And it would kind of overshadow the entire pay-per-view. And that's how I feel like War Games is what that's really going to do. That's going to overshadow the entire Survivor Series format.
Right. I mean, the plus side is we've gotten away from this stupid-ass Raw versus SmackDown bullshit, which who the fuck ever gave a shit about that, right?
Totally. I would always be rocking my blue or
brand supremacy. You were living and dying on brand supremacy?
Oh, dude, all the time. I could see it in school. There could be a guy with a red Raw shirt. I'd have a blue SmackDown. I'd give him the finger. Like, fuck you. I'll see you at Survivor Series, son of a bitch. And then after that, we were friends. But also, how you were discussing, you would watch Survivor Series on staticky TV. It would come in.
Yeah, kind of like porn.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I would be sitting at the TV with different intentions. In that case.
Is that a nipple?
But
I think I saw a nipple.
I think that's a nipple. And then it's wrestling. It could still be, but
yeah. This was more like I think I saw Damien.
Yeah.
I hope I saw Damien. Anyway.
So, Dave.
That was the other channel.
Dave, War Games? Have you seen any? You've seen NXT War Games matches, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen. Man, yeah, they were some of the best matches, man. When Gargano and all of them were there, I mean, it was crazy. That's why I think I think it's going to be real crazy. I think it's just another Triple H element. Triple H putting something in there that it reminds everybody about his NXT. You know what I mean? He's just turning it into the Triple H era now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's going on right now. But I like it. It's a change up. You know what I mean? Sometimes change is good. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. We got some good teams going on right now between the women and the men. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, they've kind of held on to this. I would say like the IP of the War Games gimmick. They waited until 2017 to have their first one in NXT, and the last one we had was in December of 2021. To be honest, when I jumped on NXT, like starting to watch it, it was War Games that got me into NXT. Like I remember just watching some of those matches. I'm like, I don't know a lot of these people, but like this is a very interesting match because I knew of it in WCW, but I never watched because I was like strictly like I'm a WWF guy. Like I was like one of those guys. So I always knew of it. I never saw it. The only thing similar to a War Games match, I guess, was what I saw in Ready to Rumble, and I don't even know if that's even fucking accurate.
It's not.
Oh,
it's not.
That absolutely was not.
It's not.
Absolutely not.
I need professional opinions. Okay, so definitely not. Yeah, and
they called it a War Games match.
Yeah.
With that Age in the Cage when they did that on, I think it was on Nitro.
Yeah.
That was fucking hot garbage. But I think technically it is a War Games match.
It's just going to put a nice spin on. It's going to put a nice spin on Survivor Series. We used to get the whole team thing at Survivor Series. You know what I mean? So it's just going to put a good spin on it. You know what I mean? That's all. It's just putting Survivor Series on steroids a little bit.
No, it's kind of funny.
Now there is one gripe I do have with WWE's implementation of Survivor Series.
Okay.
Now, see, back in the day, they're keeping the format of Survivor Series pretty much the same.
Right.
Two guys start in the ring, fighting each other, and then roughly every 3 to 5 minutes, another member from a team comes in, and then there's an advantage until somebody else from the other team comes in, balances it out, and the match keeps going until all 5 members from each team are in the ring, and then from that point, as Dusty Rhodes, rest in peace, American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, the creator of the War Games match, for those who did not know, as he coined it, once all 5 members from each team were in the ring, you enter what was known as the match beyond. Yeah, sounds cheesy now. Sounds cheesy nowadays, but back in the 80s, it worked. But and that's when it was. And at that point, what it was all about was no retreat, no surrender. The only way to win was by submit or surrender. There were no pinfalls in the original War Games match. I don't like the fact that this one in WWE, they're allowing you to win by pinfall or submission. That's the only thing I don't like about it.
And for anybody who's
back in the day,
go ahead.
I was saying, like back in the day, War Games was about beef. Like it was like we've been feuding with each other. We sick and tired of y'all. There ain't no other way to settle this shit but War Games. Like I said, the first War Games match was the Four Horsemen versus Dusty Rhodes. I don't remember who his teammates were. I want to say Dusty Rhodes, the Road Warriors, and somebody else. I have to look it up and see. But these were people who had been feuding with the Horsemen for months. Dusty Rhodes had been feuding with Flair for months over the title. The Four Horsemen kind of ran WCW, NWA at that time,
Sting,
which is
Brian
fairly
Pillman,
simple.
Steiner Brothers. They won
It was
against.
who?
It was Ric Flair, Barry Windham, Sid Vicious, Larry Zbyszko. They defeated Sting, Brian Pillman, and the Steiner Brothers.
That is not the first War Games match.
Oh, wow! That was
I know for certain.
That was in.
That sounds like
February 24th,
that sounds like
1991. Oh
yeah, 1991 was not the first War Games. That sounds like the.
Oh, that's WC. I'm sorry. That's That is
that may be under the full-fledged WCW banner after Ted Turner may have purchased it, because that sounds like Four Horsemen versus Dudes with Attitudes. But no, the War Games match goes back further than that.
Yeah, like the 1987 The Road Warriors,
Paul Ellering,
Nikita Koloff, and Dusty Rhodes, and Paul Ellering.
That's who it was. Nikita Koloff. Yeah, the Four Horsemen with J.J. Dillon versus
Lex
Flair
Luger,
versus
Tully Blanchard.
Tully Blanchard. Yep.
Nice.
Yep, that was the first one. Yeah, that's what, like I said, they had been feuding for months, so it was really about beef, which they are keeping that theme with the current one. Like, on the women's side, it's Bianca and them. They've been feuding with Damage Control pretty much since SummerSlam, and everybody and their mama been feuding with the Bloodline for the last year and some change plus. So I like that. Like I said, my main gripe is just the pinfall aspect of it. Mm-hmm. To me, that's kind of an easy way out on the match where, somebody just happens to sneak in a 3 count or something like that. It's like, nah, back in the day, we had beef. The only way we win this match is I'm going to beat the shit out of you until you quit or tap out or you just can't go no more. It just made the match that much more intense because you couldn't just get a simple 3 count and be done with it. It was like, nah, we fighting and until this shit is done. Until somebody in this ring can't go no more.
Now, for people who are like listening and are like, you know what, like I still don't understand what a War Games match is. The setup is like you said, the match consists of 2 or 3 teams, and they begin with between 3 to 5 participants facing off with each other in staggered entry format. The setup is like 2 cage consists of 2 rings side by side, encompassing a rectangular cage that covers both of the rings, but not the ringside area. Doors are placed at far corners of the cage, near where the opposing teams wait to enter, so the teams do not contact each other before they enter the match. The match begins with one member of each team entering the cage. After 5 minutes, a member from one of the teams, normally determined by a coin toss, and almost always the heel team, in order to provide heat, would enter the cage, giving the team the temporary 2-on-1 handicap advantage. Just like you said, after 2 minutes, a member from the other team would enter to even the odds for the next 2 minutes. Like you said, yep. Entrance alternate between teams, and every 2 minutes, giving the coin toss winning team the temporary advantage of teams. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, you're right. But from what happens from bell to bell, it's fucking intense. I mean, like I said, if you want to look for some really good, like, modern day matches, like, definitely go back to NXT. I mean, for me, the last good one may have been the Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee with Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oney Lorcan. And yeah, that's right. I said Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee, the commentator, was in a War Games match. Fuck yeah, he was. And that's hard for a lot of people to believe. And you want to talk about
whatever happened to Pete Dunne? I liked him.
Yeah, whatever happened to him. If you want to talk about who's been in these kind of matches the most, I guess currently on our roster, Pete Dunne is one of them. He's been in this 3 times already. The rest have been like the Undisputed Era. They've been in it 4 times. But and at female side, Dakota Kai has been in this 4 times. Io Shirai has been in this 4 times. So we're getting people who've done this shit.
Rhea's been in it. Bianca's been in it.
Yeah. So there's definitely like a lot of these, and I think that's another reason why we're getting this, because a lot of these people who were in this were in these matches during the NXT days. So, when we break down the matches, who we think could possibly, or who most likely is the 5th member of the females match, there's also a wide variety of women who are available who have experience in this match that we could still pick from. Raquel Gonzalez, Candice LeRae, who knows, maybe even Tegan Nox if she would come back. Like, ugh. But anyway, let's go into, I guess, some predictions here. This is going to be held in Boston, Massachusetts on November 26th, 2022. The last one we did... What's that?
The Garden.
Yeah, the Garden. It was... The last pay-per-view we went over was Crown Jewel, and the next one will be NXT Deadline. That'll be on December 10th. Deadline, that's an awful pay-per-view name. The poster for this, it looks pretty cool. It has like the entire bloodline there, which I think's pretty cool. I think like ever since Roman and the Usos got together as the bloodline, having Paul Heyman there, and then I always like, the younger Uso. His name's escaping me right now.
Solo.
Yeah, I was just like, I can't wait till he gets called up and gets put in the bloodline. I was just like so excited for this. I was like hoping that one day we would get like a Survivor Series type match with all of these guys involved. And obviously the addition of Sami Zayn is fantastic, but we're gonna finally get it. I want to see all these guys in one match interacting. Actually having. They're not going to have the numbers game because there's, we're going to be pretty evenly matched here. I don't know how they're going to maybe kick off. Maybe they're going to kick it off with a Wargames right off in the beginning. I'm thinking the United States title match maybe might be the opening. Seth freaking Rollins as the United States champion in a triple threat match against Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory. Now, I seen Seth Rollins leaving this match as champion. I don't see Lashley getting the title back, and I definitely don't see Austin Theory walking away with it, unless it's a shit of a pin of a steel or a roll-up or a vibrating phone. But, yeah, I got Seth Rollins on this one. I mean, anytime Seth Rollins has gold on him, I think he himself is golden, and I think they just need to keep that title on him for a little bit longer. It wasn't doing Bobby Lashley any good. At least I didn't think so. And I still don't know where we're going with Austin Theory. He lost the briefcase, cashed it in on the United States title, then lost the title. I think they're going to try to redo his character a little bit, but other than that, I don't know where they're going with him. Dre, who do you think is walking out here as the United States champion?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that Seth Rollins is going to emerge as the champ, walk out with the title in hand. Austin Theory isn't quite ready at that with this turnaround with his character, this reinvention of sorts of his character. Right. He's not quite at the point where they're going to put the strap on him and have him be the top, more or less the top guy on Raw at the moment. And Lashley, I think they're still trying to decide whether they want to keep him as a babyface or turn him full heel. There's been obviously rumors and speculation about possibly the Hurt business reforming or things of that nature. So I think Lashley's still in flux. And the most over and most popular person on Raw right now is Seth Rollins. So keeping the title on him and keeping him more or less as the top guy on Raw at the moment pretty much just makes sense.
Cool. Doyle, what you thinking?
Boy, you got to feel bad for poor Mustafa Ali, right? Like, not only is he like a jobber to the stars now, but like he's kind of feuding with all these. He's kind of in this feud, but he can't be involved in this match for whatever reason. Poor guy. Anyway, I kind of dig the new theory, as silly as we thought it was when it happened. His justification for using the briefcase for the U.S. title was pretty sound. And I think his character needed a little bit of tweak, and he got it. So let's see what he can do with it. So I'm like 50-50 on Rollins or Theory. I don't think it'll be Lashley. I think both Lashley and Rollins are ready to kind of level up into the world title picture, whatever that looks like. And I'm actually going to propose a new number one contender, but it's not going to be either of them. So maybe that's out the window. I don't know. But I expect this to be pretty good. But I also expect it to fall into that typical three-way troop where one guy powders, the other two fight, the third guy comes back in and breaks it up, and then somebody else goes out and takes a powder, then they come back in and break it. So three-way matches usually aren't great. I'm going to go with Theory just because I don't think Seth needs the title. And it's like, what the hell's the point with doing all this stuff with Theory if he's not going to do anything? So it kind of seems like a toss-up, though. I'm just going to go with Theory.
Okay. Dave, who are you thinking, buddy? Who do you think's going to walk out as United States champion?
Well, I'm pretty sure Seth is going to walk out with it. I mean, sometimes when they do this 3-way thing, it's to, give the belt to somebody like Theory and keep the other two relevant to say, he didn't pin this person or that person. You know what I mean? I think they give you, but right now, I think in this match, they're just doing that to throw people off. You know what I mean? But I think Seth is going to take the belt because I think that Seth is about to put Theory over. Not now, but I think come Royal Rumble, maybe they're going to fight one-on-one. You know what I mean? Maybe Theory will take the belt from Seth. You know what I mean? But I think right now they're just trying to find out this new character with Theory. You know what I mean? I like it so far. You know what I mean? He needs the ruthless aggression theory. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I guess we'll see. With Bobby, I think like, you know what I mean? Bobby's he's in limbo right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is rumors about all the Hurt Business stuff and, the ball, what's his name? Oh man, what's the hell's the big African's name? Like I always forget. Omos. He might be part of that. You know what I mean? They might have a bigger group now. You know what I mean? Have everybody come back and have a +1 big guy now. So hey, bring him back. But I think that's probably what they're doing with Bobby. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He'll eventually probably turn heel. Hill again when he gets back with
how nice it'd be for them to bring back the Hurt Business. I mean,
yeah. Why not?
Bring back the Hurt Business, and then possibly, now we don't have MVP maybe being such in the ring, obviously. So you have Omos to take that spot, but where the hell has Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin been? I mean, like I've heard them in house matches and dark matches. Recently, but
yeah,
like
Shelton was doing tag team matches with R-Truth and live events. They had a team going, so you know what I mean. So I mean, I don't know. I heard it was all right on the road, with them two together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard
it was the thing.
R-Truth is currently injured right now, so he's not going back anytime soon.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah, and Shelton and Cedric did appear on Raw, I think. A week or two ago, and they both jobbed to other people. And I think their reappearance on Raw is kind of what sparked these rumors that the Hurt Business might be reforming again. Is the fact that they're appearing on Raw, so maybe they're trying to put these people back into the audience's mind to remind them of who they are, and maybe they're slowly starting to build up something like put them back on TV. Just planting the seeds of the storyline for the future, but we'll see if that happens. But
yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice if it does.
Shelton Benjamin might be the biggest. I don't know. I don't want to say underrated. The worst used guy of all time.
You ain't lying about that.
Like his career, he should have been a multi-time world champion. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a fucking shame that. I mean, I guess he didn't quite have that it. You know what I mean? But god damn it, is he one of the best in ring? I always thought he had the work rate. He wasn't a great promo. I guess I don't know, man. But he's might be one of the most underutilized guys.
That's why I thought they should have put him with after. The one boy left Chad Gable. I thought they should have put him with Chad Gable because Gable got all of the mic skills. You know what I mean? Them two together. Them two together.
Not unlike the world's greatest tag team.
Well, right? I love it. Why can't there are rumors that Charlie Haas did say recently in a report that he would like to come back and form the world's greatest tag team.
I would like to go back too.
I mean, like honestly, like Shelton Benjamin, if it's not the Hurt Business, he would fit in with Alpha Squad.
I thought so.
I think he would fit in great there. I mean, you got Chad Gable. I mean, as the mic guy, you got Otis as your muscle, and you got your goddamn pure. I mean, they're all good athletes. I mean, Chad Gable's a good fucking athlete.
I don't know about that one.
But you know what sucks though? If you guys follow Shelton Benjamin on Instagram or anything like that, the guy likes to be funny. The guy likes to be. He makes jokes all the time. Like he's always playing pranks. Like he has that humor. I don't know why they don't let him use it. Like that's the thing about it. I know they want him to be serious, but they should just let him be him because he does have the humor. I see him online all the time.
But having personality and being able to transfer that into mic skills and promo and all that stuff is a different thing. Like, I agree with you saying. He does have personality. I've seen it, and things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he can transfer it to the to being on the mic. Because that has always been the knock against him, is that his mic skills have really been lacking. He never quite found that niche. And like I said, and Andrew, you're preaching to the choir talking about how unutilized Shelton Benjamin has been. I went on a rant on the last episode about how much I was, in his early run. But right now, I don't know that I'm on about possibly joining him with Alpha Academy. I don't think that would be that kind of seems like a bit of a regression.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a character. He has that thing right there. Him, back and work again with him. I wouldn't mind seeing World's Greatest Tag Team as a big thing, just that nostalgia hit. I don't think there's any future in that moving forward, though. Yeah, I think Shelton Benjamin, to me, the best thing for him would be, like I said, a reformation of, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Yeah, that is true. Everything he says is true, man, because, I think I would probably push him back a little bit, just being with the whole Alpha team and all that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I just thought, like, before all this happened, like, I think he should have just been Chad Gable. That's it. You know what I mean? Just took the spot of Jordan. You know what I mean? And I think that would have helped him out. But also, Bobby Lashley. Every time every time he talks on the mic, it hurts my feelings. I mean, he I don't know. Bobby scares me on the mic sometimes. He looks scared on the mic sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
And that's his problem too. Is that That's why MVP worked so well in the Hurt Business, because all of them are lacking in the mic skills, which MVP has in spades. Like Bobby Lashley has these moments where he'll say like a line or two where it's like, that's it. That's the type of line we need from you. That's the type of delivery we need from you, Bobby. And then he'll say something else, and it's like, now it seems like you're trying too hard again, Bobby. Come on. Yeah. To him, it just never seems. It never seems natural coming from him.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's nervous, though, doesn't he? Doesn't he feel like he's nervous when he's on the mic? I don't know about nervous. He's like comfortable on the mic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, uncomfortable. Yes, like I don't know about necessarily nervousness to me, but it always feels like he's trying too hard to come off to try to be intentional. I mean, not intentional, to try to be intimidating, as opposed to just letting it flow naturally, just talking how he would normally talk and just cranking it up. Instead, it's like he's performing. It sounds too performative when he gets on the mic, like, let me tell you what's gonna happen when I get in that ring, get my hands on you. It's like, what the fuck? Who told you to talk
Bobby Lashley impersonation? I love it.
Right? Like, who told you to talk like that? Like, that is not a natural cadence or anything. Like, dude, just talk.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's trying to be too much of a barbarian. Like, I'm like, nah, man, just be you, man. Just be you. Be smooth with it. That's all you got to do.
And I know that's not his natural cadence, because I've seen him in regular talking in like other videos and stuff where he's like outside of the ring. Yeah. It's not like his voice is completely different, but his way he naturally talks and his natural cadence is not what he presents on television.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's move on to what possibly could be the next match. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this, the way it's built, okay, we got AJ Styles with the OC, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Mia Yim. Now, I know this week they were pushing that her name was Michin or something similar like that. As of today, I saw there's been a report that if you go on WWE.com, her name is now back to Mia Yim. So everyone can calm down. I did Doyle. I heard that. I heard that sigh, man. I think I heard that.
Good, because that beachhead thing was stupid.
Pick something and stay with it. It's Christ Almighty!
I know, and you know they are going. Well, they're going to verse the Judgment Day: Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Rhea Ripley. But this is just a regular singles match. It's not an elimination match of any kind. And I understand because you have the women, but still, we couldn't make this in any. I don't know. This just seems silly to have this many people in one match and it just be a one-off singles match. AJ Styles hasn't won a singles match since 2019. That's real. That's a real statistic, people. 2019, AJ Styles, former world heavyweight champion. I mean, world champion, has not won a singles match since 2019. What?
Well, talk about a guy that doesn't need a win, I guess, because you don't even notice. Or I should say, let me rephrase. Talk about a guy that can lose and be okay about it.
Exactly, and I think we had Judgment Day win last. They won at Crown Jewel, and because they needed a win for a while. But I feel like they're going to maybe flare up the feud with Edge again. So maybe we're gonna get Finn Balor getting the pin here over AJ Styles. Unless they have Rhea make the pin. I mean, but which doesn't make sense to me because she's also in the women's Wargames match.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring that up, and so was my Yim or whoever she is. So I'm wondering what the fuck the order of any of this is going to be.
Yeah, so why couldn't you just have Mia Yim and Rhea just not be involved in this match, and then maybe add two other people to this? And
where are y'all seeing that at? Because I'm on WWE's website and it just says AJ Styles versus Finn Balor 1-on-1.
Really?
Yeah. It just has them booked as a one-on-one match.
You know what? You might be right. I see with the OC. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
my guess is it'll probably just be all the guys in this match,
You're
like Finn Balor and AJ Styles one-on-one, and maybe we'll see some run-in from the OC and Dominic and Drew and Damian Priest at some point. But I'm pretty sure I think the women are going to stay out of this because they're involved in the women's Wargames match later.
Why isn't this a Survivor Series match?
That's what I mean. This should be with that amount of people in it. But singles match wise, AJ Styles needs to win, but I don't think he's going to get the win.
Or how about leave Rhea and Mia out of the cage and put them and make it an intergender Survivor Series match or something?
Because those are kind of complicated to book, and intergender matches kind of never work out right because they sell you on the concept of at some point you could see a woman in the ring wrestling a guy, but almost every time it happens, the woman just sneaks away and gets attacked to another dude.
Yeah, but I mean they've had
it's not like you really gonna see Mia. Yeah, it's not like you would really see Mia Yim squaring up with Damian Priest in the ring, going at it with each other. You know what I'm saying?
No, more.
You might see Rhea still on one of the
dudes. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
but we've already seen it, and it's kind of gimmicky. You might see Rhea square up with a dude for a minute, but it ain't gonna last no more than 30 seconds before she tags in one of the dudes. That's my gripe always with intergender matches in WWE. It's they never really deliver on it. It's just more like a gimmick to just try to sell you on it, rather than really following through with it completely.
I guess if I was
listen, just
seeing 30 seconds, I think I'd tap out too.
Yeah, right.
Listen, just seeing AJ, seeing AJ and Finn have a match is magic. Yeah, seeing them two fight is magic.
In a vacuum,
that's all I need. That's all I need.
There's other bullshit going on. I don't know.
There's gonna be so much shit. I mean, I think we can agree that this match is gonna have lots of interference.
This is gonna be a big overbooked mess. I think
it'll be towards the end. I think for the most part, this will be a one-on match until they get to the finish, until they get to the go home part of the match. Then you'll see probably the Judgment Day come out, and then OC will come out, and then they'll get to the finish. Yeah, it'll end. The ending of the match will be probably terrible in order to keep the feud going because this feud's probably not going to end. It's obviously not going to end here. It's going to continue past here. But I think for the most part, I'm pretty sure we'll probably get 90% of the match will be one-on-one.
Yeah, I think so, and it should be. It should be.
Yeah, I would like it because it's two guys.
Let them two guys fight.
That could be an opening match of the night too, because they could put on a pretty good match as an opener. Besides the triple threat for the United States title, so I could see that being the opener as well.
They could, but if I had to put money on it, I'd put money on the U.S. title match kicking off the show just to start off hot.
That's true.
Doyle,
I feel like this has to happen before the War Games match, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think the War Games matches are going to be.
Are they going to go back to back War Games matches?
No,
I think so. I think so.
You think so?
Honestly, I think.
You know what?
Yes,
setting up the ring
because we're rolling out that second ring and dropping that cage down. That's a whole lot to try to do. Like roll that out and then put it back.
The dual rings for the whole thing traditionally. They don't wheel a ring out.
They just turn lights off on one ring, I guess, or.
Well, maybe they do. Maybe they do one of the matches, do a backstage segment for fucking 15 minutes, and then do the other one
to
break it up a little.
Long, unnecessary promos. We could do those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell the order's going to be.
Yeah, Doyle, who do you think's leaving? AJ Styles or Finn Balor as the winner here?
I really couldn't give a shit. I guess AJ Styles. I didn't even know about that. I didn't know about that statistic. What was it, 19, you said?
Yeah, 2019,
that's insane.
Real. That's scary.
That's great. I just don't give a shit about this feud at all. I don't care about the Judgment Day. Like I said, or Dave said, AJ Styles and Finn Balor, give it to me. And in a vacuum, I absolutely agree with that. But it's just so much other, bullshit, garbage. Who cares? I wouldn't be surprised to see Edge and or Beth Phoenix get involved in this. I think somebody mentioned that. I don't know. I think this is going to be a dud. But AJ Styles would be my pick to win.
Tell us how you really feel. Dave, are you feeling just as much love? Or are you feeling just as much hate for this match as well? Will you be going to the bathroom during this match?
No, I'm not going to be going to the bathroom. Like I said, I like these two fighting, which I hope is just that match. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I hope it's them two at least fighting most of the match. I'll always sit there and watch them two fight. It's just, you know what I mean? They know each other so well. That's why they work so well in the ring together. So I'll always love watching them fight. But I think on to agree with Doyle on the one point, like it's not like that big fight feeling with them two, like we had the first time they fought. You know what I mean? Right. They didn't build it up for them to, you know what I mean, for it to be like the Super AJ Styles against Super Finn Balor. You know what I mean? Right now it's just like Finn Balor with his crew. Somebody's cheating, and then it's just AJ and his crew. So I don't know. It's going to be a great. I think it's going to be a great match. You know what I mean? I think Finn Balor is going to win, and you know what I mean, because they're pushing Finn right now, and I don't know. It's just not a big fight feel. That's all I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you.
Just not a big fight feel. That's all.
Yeah. I agree with you. It doesn't have that big fight feel. I do think Finn Balor will probably walk away with the win because, they are building him up. I'm also shocked by that AJ Styles statistic that he has not won since 2019. I'm sitting there trying to rack my brain out. Like, has he really not won a single match at all? But like,
shows you how loved he is, though, right?
It shows how loved he is and how respected he is, and also kind of establishes his place as more or less a veteran on this WWE roster and more or less as a locker room leader at this point. It kind of almost gives me callbacks to Shawn Michaels during his second run. And when he came back,
putting guys over.
All he did was put guys over. It wasn't often that he won. But even when he got that world title win at the Elimination Chamber match, he didn't want to win it.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, he competed in a whole bunch of title matches, but he never won the title. That was the only time he ever won it in all those years during his second run because he didn't want it. He obviously didn't need it. And perhaps AJ Styles is somewhat in that same vein where, he's at the point in his career, he's done everything he needs to do. He's proven everything. He doesn't need it. People would probably like to see him get, another title win before it's all said and done. But at this point, he kind of doesn't really need it. So
yeah, exactly.
He can be a top level guy. He can feud with people, and other guys who were getting pushed up he can give them that boost. And this match as a standalone match, I think it will be good until the end. I think the end is probably where it's going to fall apart as the OC guys and Judgment Day come out there and they all get this scrambling and fighting, and something's going to happen with a finish. Could we possibly see a run-in? Maybe a returning Edge shows up and gets involved in this? Maybe. I don't know about Beth Phoenix. I don't think Beth Phoenix will get involved in this, given that Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley will likely not be involved in this match. So I don't see any reason for Beth Phoenix to get involved. But could we possibly see a returning Edge? Maybe. Do I hope so? No.
Yeah.
I hope he stays out of it for at least for the time being. But yeah, I think Finn Balor gets the win and this feud continues on.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's where it's going to happen. I think Finn winning and setting up an Edge feud, I think's unfortunately where they're going to go. They still use his theme music when he was in Judgment Day.
Who, Edge?
When Edge was part of Judgment Day, they changed the music, and when he left, they kept that music.
It's kind of a Judgment Day's thing now, and Edge has obviously his own music. It works fine. The one thing I will say about Judgment Day is coming out of this, they really need to work on their presence or their presence or their work on the mic, because I know they're trying to build up Judgment Day as being like a legitimate top heel faction on Raw, but they still just come off like a bunch of fucking tryhards. That promo they cut with the Brawling Brutes this past Monday on Raw was terrible. It was so terrible. Like, they just came out and interrupted them and just started talking smack. Like, the next, Finn Balor's sitting there talking to like, the next time you come on Raw, show some respect, or maybe the Judgment Day won't be so forgiving next time. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You sound you sound like a bunch of cheap high school bullies and shit trying to intimidate people, knowing y'all can't really fight. Like, it's just not good. And they for as long as this faction has been around, they still struggle with legitimacy.
Well, Graves also on commentary when he's talking about them, it's like he's on a different universe. He's like, their only purpose is to destroy WWE superstars. Da, da, da. I'm like, what Judgment Day are you watching?
Right. Who have they destroyed other than Edge and Beth Phoenix?
What are you talking about?
This deserves
boom, roasted.
Yeah, Judgment Day. Roasted. Actually, what I want to talk about, I'm kind of just gonna bring up in the middle of the show because it's been bothering me all week. I'm gonna bring it up in the middle. Okay, we know a while ago that WWE lost a lot of rights to entrance themes when they lost their deal with CFO money or whatever. Every week it seems like, well, I mean, I could do like a whole episode basically about like entrance music, like how entrance music was very, very important to me as a kid. Like you would hear that theme song, you could know immediately who that wrestler is or what tag team's coming out. You know what I mean? Like, even if it was like a public domain or public song, like use song, like the Hardy Boys. If I would hear the Hardy Boys at the baseball game, I would be like, that's the Hardy Boys. Like, I know that. But like nowadays, it seems like the entrance theme music is getting fucking worse and worse. So recently, they just took away Johnny Gargano's theme music and remixed it. They did it recently with Alexa Bliss. It just seems like they're just, these entrance theme musics are getting worse and worse to the point where like I can't even tell. Like I remember I used to play games with my friends. It's like, hey, I got a bunch of new wrestling songs, theme music's on the CD. Look, I'm already taking it back. And I would just say, listen, I'm going to play random ones, and let's try to guess. Like, you try to guess what wrestler this is. And, like, 9 times out of 10, you would always get it. You know? But, like, these newer ones, these updated entrance themes. They even did God. What's the girl that's with Ronda Rousey all the time?
Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler. They just redid hers, and I liked hers from NXT. I really did. And they just redid hers, and hers now is awful. They just seem to be getting worse and worse. And like, there's just certain people I'm just like, please don't touch like AJ Styles music. Please don't mess with Bianca Belair or something. Like, there's a certain people now I'm in fear for that their music is going to get touched.
Yeah.
And get destroyed.
Call it what it is. Nobody has iconic music now.
Nobody does.
Think about the entire WWE roster. There's probably, I can think of maybe one person who has an entrance theme that I would consider to be iconic, and that's Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. Maybe you could throw in Cody Rhodes, but I feel like Cody Rhodes ain't been back long enough. His ain't been. I know it's his. He brought it over from AEW and stuff, so maybe that helps it a little bit. But I don't think he's been on the back with WWE long enough to really label his as iconic, even though I do like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Seth Rollins is the only one whose theme is you could really consider him to be iconic.
Right, and
everybody else is just kind of seems pretty damn generic.
Exactly, and I did post in our Discord. Somebody asked Code Orange. They're the people who do the theme song for Bray Wyatt's new song Shatter, and like when I saw Bray Wyatt, when we saw Bray Wyatt in Extreme Rules in Philadelphia, I was like, man, I gotta download this song. And like, it has its moments where I do like it, but like, can't find it nowhere. And anywhere, if you want to listen to it, you have to listen to it on YouTube, and you're gonna hear fans and stuff behind it, which is kind of funny because you know what? If it's from Extreme Rules, it's probably us drunk as shit in the background screaming. Okay, so listen very carefully. You can probably hear us, but So I think that's funny right now, but they said it will be available soon to download, which I think is gonna be cool. But yeah, I used to enjoy, downloading wrestling music. Like, that was honestly like one of the very first things I would do when I was making CDs. It wasn't just music I'm listening to. It's like, oh, I'm gonna put this whole CD is gonna be like just WWE entrance theme songs. Like, I got like the best version of Stone Cold, the best version of The Rock. Like, I got DX on here. I got Shawn Michaels. Like, these are like entrance themes. Like, you can hear. I can tell you these wrestlers, and you can hear their theme songs in your head. But but like some of these other wrestlers, like I don't know. I don't know what your entrance theme is anymore. I can't remember. There's only a few newer ones. Very few newer ones that I do like. And I like Roman Reigns' newer one. I do like the Bloodlines theme music, but that's like, one out of how many that we've had redone in the past couple of years. And I feel like the snowball of this, for me, I started to care and notice when Keith Lee got called up and they changed his theme music, because I think that was right around the time when they lost CFO money, right? Okay.
I don't know. I was like, I don't know.
I didn't know if you guys knew
things. So
that's what I
couldn't reference when that happened or not. But yeah,
that's what I believe. You're
probably right that. But yeah, I was saying. You're probably right that that them losing that deal probably had a big impact, because obviously if they lost that deal, then they couldn't use those themes, so they had to somewhat remix them or remake them a little bit and make them different enough so that they could just own it themselves outright. So they're trying to keep somewhat of the flavor of what the original was, but make it different. And sometimes that works and sometimes it just doesn't. And it seems like more often than not, it's not working for them now. And so, yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. It's something that we probably just may have to just deal with. And maybe as some of these stars, as these current roster people build themselves up, then maybe their themes will carry along with them and eventually become iconic. And things go through iterations and stuff. Like The Rock's theme has been pretty much was always consistent as he was The Rock, but it never really. His theme kind of grew with him. Mm-hmm. Everybody looks back on "Do You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking" now and kind of remembers it fondly. But I would say at the time, when we first got "Do You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking," it was okay, but it wasn't really iconic.
I do recall
and then it
that
kind of
one. It was
right. Then it
You
kind of
Smell
evolved
What
a little
the
bit,
Rock
and then they
Is
changed it
Cooking.
from "Do You Smell" to "If You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking," and it got better. So like as they kind of just tinker and iterate on them a little bit as that wrestler gets bigger and grows, then perhaps their theme will eventually reach that iconic status. Like to me personally, I think The Rock's
Rollins
most
is like
iconic
that,
theme
too.
was it's like
Recently.
for me me personally, I think The Rock's most iconic theme, most people would probably say would be the "If You Smell" going into WrestleMania 17. Me personally, I think it's actually the one he had during the invasion angle after he left for a while and came back, and they changed up and modernized that same "If You Smell" theme. To me, that's the most iconic one. But again, that's just what happens with entrance themes. Very few wrestlers outside of maybe like the old school ones back in the day had one theme and it just stayed with them the whole time. So, and I think there's a bunch of people on the current roster who could use new themes. Austin Theory, if he's going to have this reinvention of his character and take on a more serious theme, that A-Town Down shit need to go because that shit doesn't fit him right now.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say that as well. I kind of like when a guy goes heel and changes his theme.
I did like that though sometimes. Yeah.
Like, and I know it's AEW, so it's kind of apples and oranges, but I fucking hate that Chris Jericho is a heel, but he comes down to everybody, the crowd singing his theme song. He's a fucking heel. That shouldn't be happening. He should, in fact, he should make it a point to be like, I'm not letting you hear this song anymore, and make it some dumpy song, something. You know what I mean? So that he's getting heat for it. So I don't mind, especially in this era where there aren't iconic theme songs, switching it up. When a guy's character changes, that doesn't bother me so much. Like the fact that Shawn Michaels still comes out to fucking "Sexy Boy" is preposterous. Preposterous.
57-year-old
Absolutely not,
sexy
sir.
boy.
You put some respect on "Sexy Boy."
That's called
blasphemous.
legendary, man. That's just
Exactly.
called legendary.
That is
Even with Jericho, anything he does, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows Jericho's going to go down as one of the top heels ever. He's just a legend, man. Legendary.
Right. And
That's
Jericho ain't been in WWE in how many years? But let that Y2J countdown pop up on that damn Titantron and see if the audience don't lose their shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So once something becomes iconic, that's it. Like and getting back to the
glass shattering.
Austin, right? The glass shattering. Getting back to Austin Theory and him needing a new theme. I would compare it to Triple H. Think about when he first came in and he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Oh, yeah.
And he had that classic, old Renaissance type entrance theme. But then he got with DX and after he came out to the DX,
it was like,
once he went solo and he had that original, his first theme that he had, around the 2000s. When you first heard that, it wasn't necessarily something that was iconic. But as he grew as a wrestler, that original theme became iconic. Yeah, it grew, and I started to love it. And then they switched it up. No, before the game.
Oh, before that one.
Before the game, the other one he had.
About,
I forgot what the title of it is, but it's the one he had before the game.
But I know exactly which one you're talking about. But yes, and
yeah,
Doyle, come on, man. Hey Google, how old is Shawn Michaels?
107.
Shawn Michaels is 57 years old.
57 years old, and you know what? He could still do this. Still come out to this. And every fucking time he does, I mark the fuck out. He is a 50-something-year-old sexy man. You accept that, sir.
A balding sexy boy.
You shut up! You shut up!
It doesn't matter. It's still iconic.
Balding.
No, I mean, you can't change it at this point.
Right.
I mean,
Real American. People can feel whatever they feel about Hulk Hogan, but goddamn it, Real American is still iconic.
That's true.
Sure.
That is true, though.
That music hits. It's a fucking rap.
Or when he has the Jimi Hendrix music. I'd be standing up, marking out, rocking out with my boa. Just
always going to be iconic.
I think we should just do a Patreon episode of maybe like I'll just play entrance themes and you guys have to guess them, or we'll do like maybe a bracket of like the best entrance themes that we think of. Like I think that's definitely a good episode. That's a whole episode right there. Just me and my soundboard.
We should definitely do a bracketology of wrestling themes. Absolutely.
I think us doing some brackets, I think that'd be a good idea because there's plenty of wrestling brackets we can do, and I think starting off with entrance theme music is a good one because we already do. I like us doing predictions. Everybody, there are wrestling podcasts out there, and they do aftermath, but no, I like to get ahead of the game and let's talk about predictions. I mean, when it comes down to brass tacks, we like to talk about ruthless aggression, old pay-per-views, but hitting the modern day and discussing maybe some predictions, I always thought was a good idea. A little different. Brackets. That's where it's at. That's where we got to get some in. I'm in a couple beers already, but all right. Let's. I just had to rant there for a bit about entrance themes because when I heard Johnny Gargano's music change this time, I was kind of like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like they just changed another one?" And I'm just like, I live alone, so I'm just standing at home, just yelling at the TV. I'm going to my cat. Hey, do you fucking see this? Do you fucking see this? They don't care.
Oh, see, I can tell you that I didn't even notice.
Yeah, see, because sometimes some of those entrance music themes aren't iconic enough for you to notice the difference. But the ones that I really want to change, they never fuck with. They never change Ronda Rousey's. Well, why don't you fuck with that one?
They did change it because originally she had that remix version of Piper's theme, and then they gave her the Joan Jett theme.
I hate that they changed Tommaso Ciampa's, man.
Oh yeah.
Why did they do that? Like his was awesome. Like they messed that all up, man. His theme song was great in NXT. Like, and it would have stuck with him.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Like I said, some of these things will work, and some of them won't. I mean, I like who's brain farting right now? Bobby Lashley. His theme seems to be sticking, and his has at least gotten to the point now where I recognize it when I hear it.
I like it.
Right.
Yeah, and to me that's kind of that's kind of what makes a theme. What starts to make a theme iconic is when as soon as it hits within those first couple of notes, you immediately recognize it and know what it is. Mm-hmm. Bobby Lashley's just starting to reach that point. Bloodline, obviously, they're at that point. It's a handful of people who are at that point, and if the character can grow, then the theme can grow along with them. Mm-hmm. Oddly enough, though, two themes that that they're trying to make work but don't work for me are Judgment Day and Damage Control. Ugh. To me, I get those two confused because they sound very similar when they start. Yeah, when they start up. So like I hear the note and I always have to go in my mind like, is that Damage Control or Judgment Day? Oh, okay, it's Judgment Day this time. Like to me, that's a mistake when two themes sound too close to each other where you can't where you can confuse the two. That's a mistake, but we'll see how these themes change and evolve and grow over time.
Let me just tell you two other entrance themes I heard this week that have been changed. Mustafa Ali and Ricochet seem to change every couple weeks. I know that.
Does anybody care?
Exactly. Nobody
about
cares
those
anymore.
Two themes.
Never would have known.
Right? Exactly.
To me, those two aren't significant enough for me to care about their themes. Like
Ricochet used to have this goofy one where they would, for a while, they were putting like they still might do it with Drew McIntyre, where they put like the unsheathing of the sword sound before his music hits. But Ricochet used to have this ricocheting ball sound, like a bullet ricochet. And then his music would hit. And I was like, that is awful. I hope they get rid of it. And then they did. Now I can't even remember what his theme is. And now I can only remember.
Yeah, but like how many classics have had that sound effect precede it? You know, the shattered glass. Foley had the car
crash.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, and they're all, and both of those were derivatives.
And
they were just derivatives of old Razor Ramon theme.
Yeah,
like Stone Cold was just a derivative of Razors.
Yeah,
it was.
But I mean, how many iconic themes have had that sound effect and then go into the theme? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't blame him for trying.
Taker's Dawn and Dawn.
Yeah, it's a trial and error process until you find something that works. So I mean, if it's still somebody who's kind of middling around the mid cards, they still haven't really established themselves that much. Like they're known, but they aren't really they haven't really solidified who their character is and something that they can take and grow with and move forward, then I'm okay with them having a little bit of trial and error with their theme songs. Because again,
Like
you're trying to find what works for that character. You're trying to find something that sticks that they can actually take and develop and evolve and grow with.
Yeah, and if something's not working, it doesn't bother me if they try something different. You know what I mean? Find something that does work.
Right.
I'd rather that than 3 years of some fucking terrible theme song. You know what I mean?
Right. Patriot didn't work.
True.
Right. Patriot didn't work for the Patriot, but damn sure worked with Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, yeah.
Yep. I think they need to. I know. Speaking of Ricochet, they just need to put the Puma mask on him and just let him go. I'm just saying, man. It's something about that Puma mask. When he had that Puma mask on, man, he was something else when he was in Lucha Underground. But I don't know. Like they just need to put the mask back on Homeboy. Maybe he needs his superpowers or something. Because this Ricochet, man, I don't know. He was better than me when he wasn't talking and when he was just showing action. That's all I know. I couldn't stop watching the guy.
That Puma mask.
He was much better.
Get you going. All right.
Yeah. I'm just saying they need to switch it up, man.
So
I would love it. I would love it if he upsets Braun Strowman this Friday on SmackDown.
That would be great. That would be great. That would be awesome. I mean, I don't see it happening, but it would be great.
there was I don't know if you guys saw the last promo Braun Strowman had recently. He was so out of breath, and she's interviewing him backstage, and he's like coughing. He's like, oh. Well, I had to go. I'm like, all right, Jesus Christ. Like, that's why I don't think you should be like fucking interviewing these guys after they're done like running around the ring, having like they're all out of breath, and like you're making
not the ones that ain't got no stamina.
Yeah, he's freaking huge.
Braun running around the ring doing this choo-choo train shit still.
Yeah. The guys who have stamina, you can interview them after a match and they can cut a good promo. But if it's a guy that ain't got no damn stamina, don't have him talking after a match.
I mean, come on. The dude, that dude's carrying around all that weight and he's running like a locomotive around the ring. Look how big he is. He of course his stamina ain't there.
But I'll tell you what. Though. If they're smart, if somebody's really thinking next level, they could take advantage of that and integrate that into a storyline.
Yeah, of course.
His lack of stamina. Because if it was me, if I was backstage and I was fantasy booking, I would probably go ahead and have Braun Strowman win the SmackDown World Cup and end up in a match with Gunther for the Intercontinental title. Mm-hmm. And I would play up him coughing and speak about his lack of stamina. I would have Gunther win first match, and you could play the storyline that Braun Strowman, he's all strength, he's strong, but he can't last in the ring. And somebody like Gunther, who for all intents and purposes would be outmatched, he can win on his mind and just outlasting him, just letting Braun Strowman tire himself out and let Gunther win clean on just his intelligence and his ring generalship.
God, I hope someone's recording this. We should send this tape up to Stanford.
Yeah. Let him win
a job for a friend here.
Let him win the match that way, and then the second match they'd have a rematch, and then you can let Braun Strowman go over in the rematch. But again, that's just me if I was booking. But I'll get paid for this shit.
Sounds great, man. I'm down with that. I definitely watch that.
Speaking of Gunther, no Imperium on this card at all. Just
a lot of people were not seeing on this card at all.
A lot of people not on this card.
Which you know how we could solve that? With a couple of traditional Survivor Series matches.
We could.
Does that leave surprises, though? Does that leave surprises?
Maybe.
I don't think it leaves surprises, because one thing we have to think about is after this pay-per-view, there's not another pay-per-view or premium live event until the Royal Rumble.
Right.
So they've got basically 2 months of programming that they have to fill out. So a lot of these people who may not be getting showcased on this at Survivor Series will probably have programs carrying them through Raw and SmackDown for these next couple of months. I mean, for the next month or two until we go into the Royal Rumble. So I'm not too worried about the fact that some people are being left off of this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I think it's super refreshing to not have to force something into a pay-per-view every month. I've been calling for this for a while.
I actually like the fact that they're letting it breathe after Survivor Series. This might seem controversial. I would not have a problem if SmackDown and Raw went on hiatus at the end of the year. If they had a show in like mid-December and then said, all right, y'all, peace out. We'll see you next year.
I really
and
think
then they
so.
go off for like 2 weeks. Let people miss the product. Let people enjoy their holidays, have some time away. Let them miss it, and then you come back in January after the holidays over with.
You can do
come back with a bang.
I agree with that, Dre. Like giving them, because these are guys who don't really get time off.
Right? Like, give the wrestlers a break.
Season. That's what I was. I never think about the fans. I always think about like the wrestler. I'm like, well, let this guy be with his family. Like every time they would advertise, and I know it's pre-recorded, but they would advertise SmackDown like, oh, we're gonna have SmackDown on New Year's Eve, or we're gonna have this on Christmas Day. Like, I don't want to be like, I don't get me wrong. This is why we're here. But I don't want to spend my time watching wrestling on Christmas Day. Sometimes, like how about like the idea of giving us a break between Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble is great. That would be great, or very just light work. But like, you're right, dude. Like, give us time to break. Give us injuries to heal, people to work on themselves. Like, maybe mic work. But most of all, recharging their batteries off their being on the fucking road for so much, and spending time with their family, because that is the most important. And I know in hindsight they probably do, because they do pre-record a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, we know they're still doing a lot of other shit, even if they're not wrestling. Like, but
I've definitely called for less pay-per-views for a while now, and less content in general. There's just too goddamn much. Absolutely, there should be some kind of break. Where it is in the year, you can debate about. That's the end of the year sounds like just as good a time as any. In the interim, and for that 2 weeks or whatever, you can run a best of kind of segment. Yeah. You could even kind of maybe start to set up new feuds for the future. Like, oh, let's remember this time when so and so and so and so, blah blah blah. And kind of set some things up going forward. Give everybody a break. Not just the wrestlers, but the fans. Just Jesus Christ, it's so much, between 3 hours of Raw and 2 hours of SmackDown, and what is NXT? An hour, 2 hours, 2 hours, and then and then you got a 3 to 4 hour pay-per-view every month, and then whatever other special they have. Sometimes it's the Saudi show, sometimes it's some whatever, And then on top of that, if you want to watch AEW or you want to watch Ring of Honor, well, I guess that kind of doesn't really exist right now. You want to watch MLW, you want to watch Japanese stuff. We're talking about a huge time commitment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Mention midget wrestling. I mean, that's out there too. For wrestling.
I don't think giving us a little content break is, absence makes the heart grow fonder, right?
Right, and it's not like audience
doing so much good.
Yeah, and it's not like audiences aren't conditioned for this stuff. Everybody's favorite fall shows go on hiatus around Thanksgiving this time of year, anyway, and usually end up coming back.
Sports leagues have seasons.
Right, and most all shows go on break around this time and usually don't end up coming back till much later, like February or March or something like that. So if WWE were to take a break at the end of the year, again, we're not saying take a whole month off or anything like that, but if you took off the last 2 weeks of the year, no Raw, no new Raw, no new SmackDown, maybe like I said, do an end of the year recap show, best matches of the year or a year in review type thing, something that's lightweight, doesn't require much, just get your announcers in there, pre-record some stuff, and
keep stuff out there.
Right, and just throw it on TV and just be done with it. Let the wrestlers get a break. Let the audience get a break. Let everybody get a break. Close out the year with their families, and then you come back at the beginning of the year, new, ready to rock, to push into the Royal Rumble, push into WrestleMania. I think it makes too much sense.
Plus, how often do they have a dead storyline? And what a great opportunity to just kind of wipe away, oh, fuck, this thing wasn't going anywhere. Let's just pretend it never happened, with a 2 week break here,
They do that a lot.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, you're absolutely right, dude. 2 weeks? That sounds crazy, but 2 weeks would actually mean a lot to us wrestling fans. Like, I could, like, 2 weeks with no wrestling, I don't even know what I would do with myself. Like, that's a lot of hours just free of doing, like go outside and hear birds chirping and shit. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, just like, oh my God.
You would be fine.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But you're right, though. Like, I agree. Like, you could have, like, these are the best matches of the year. Or these are, like, some highlights of the year. Like, some of the best pay-per-views of the year. Something like a couple matches. But there's so much material they could just show. Such a huge library of shit.
Yeah.
They could just show to fill in that time for 2 weeks.
Right.
And people would probably still tune in, or at least put it in on the background. But, like, you're still putting content out there, but you're helping also your employees. So I don't know. But instead, you know, they're just going to shove shit down our throat until Royal Rumble, and you know.
I mean that's all.
What's that?
That's all good, but they have, you know, they also have commitments to the you know, the stations, Fox,
to the networks and stuff like that. Yeah, to put,
you know what I mean.
Put out content. Yeah,
but
they're making them loads of money. You know what I mean, with the views. So it's, you know, I mean, they definitely need to give the wrestlers a break around this time. You know what I mean? Like you guys, I'm with y'all on all that, but I think it's the commitments too that they have. And plus, you got, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Tripp is bringing in more and more people. You know what I mean? They're paying more and more people. You know what I mean? All these people coming in, and Bray's back. I know they gave him a shitload of money. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like they don't have the money. But, you know, I'm pretty sure Fox and all of them is paying them a shitload of money to put their show on every week. So it'll be hard to do 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because of the amount of money they make in 1 week.
We'll never get it, but you know.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. We probably will never. The wrestlers will never get that, but you know, it's true though. It's these around the times, like right after this, we don't get much up to Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? So you know,
right.
It really is. I see exactly what you're saying. It's pointless because Royal Rumble is when we want to see. You know, we're anticipating all the greatness that's coming into Royal Rumble, which like you said, yeah, they could be saving that time to put on something spectacular like the, you know what I mean?
What a great reset point that would be.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
You could have a couple of Raws before that, maybe some matches to get into the Rumble or matches for seeding, whatever. And then, you know, what a great opportunity to, you know, usually you build the Rumble to build the next guy, obviously. Mm-hmm. But what a great place to do, you know, to kind of reset everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, and we know they have television. They have their television contracts. They have their commitments to USA and to Fox and all that stuff. And nobody's saying that. They just go off the air for 2 weeks and just tell USA and Fox, fill it in, motherfucker, find something to throw on TV. We're not saying do that. Like they can put out end of the year content. It just doesn't have to be a live Raw, a live SmackDown episode for 2 weeks. Let the wrestlers go home and recharge. It's like, hey, y'all go home. And like I said, and 1 week could be, top 10 matches, our top 10 matches of 2022. And then, or something like that. Then the next week, a year review, something of that nature they could use to fill out.
You could even show like a fun house show match or something, that they recorded over the course of the year. Because some of those house show matches are great,
If they could integrate that into some type of special program. I don't know about just throwing on random house show matches for shit.
No, I just mean
those things are also because those matches are also, saying trapped in the past, so like that would kind of throw off if you got certain ongoing feuds and you're showing matches from other people from a feud that was months ago. But they could also, they could take some of their Peacock exclusive content, some stuff that's on Peacock, and they could throw that on and fill in the gap. Just like I said, just giving the guys a break and just giving the audience a break at the end of the year and coming back fresh, I think would go wonders towards giving the WWE a strong start to the next year to push into their biggest time of the year, because this is their lull. After Survivor Series is pretty much their lull. The networks know it's their lull, and as well, just as much as WWE does. You're reaching the latter end of the NFL regular season, so everybody's attention is starting to be focused on, even more so, on the NFL and teams pushing for the playoffs and the postseason and all that stuff. So it works. It fits in. I think they could do it. It's just whether they would actually do it or not remains to be seen. But I think it would be excellent for them to do, and I don't think it would really hurt anybody too much. Not the networks, the company, audiences, or wrestlers, or anybody. I think it would be a win for everybody, honestly. And even the ratings hit that the networks might take on not having a live Raw or SmackDown at the end of the year could be made up for in the ratings bump that they would get at the beginning of the year when the show comes back.
Yeah, they're already taking a hit because of Monday Night Football. So
right.
And ratings aren't nearly as important as they once were.
Yeah.
No.
Not
like during the Monday Night Wars, that was the end all be all, was the rating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now there's other metrics,
I mean, networks still care about ratings, but it's not the be all end all like it was.
Right.
Agreed.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to roll into... I really would like to bore you guys, so I really would like to roll into this bathroom break of a match that they're going to have next. It is Ronda Rousey as a SmackDown Women's Champion versus Shotzi. Now, what are the chances of Shotzi Blackheart walking out as SmackDown Women's Champion? I'll tell you right now, very low. Very,
Zero.
Yeah, very low. I think
Slim and none, and Slim just left town.
This is a very... I think we all can agree. Can we all agree on this, that Ronda's walking out as champion? This is just a filler match, bathroom break. Yeah. I hear Dave's pretty quiet. Dave's probably like, no, Shotzi's going to win. These guys.
Nah, hell no. I don't think Shotzi's going to win.
It's okay,
I think this is a pull. When you get a match like this...
Yeah.
I think this match is a ploy. I think when you get a match like this, it's a ploy for something else. And I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Well, I would be surprised right now at this point because Ronda kind of just turned heel. But if I was going to say if Shayna turned on Ronda, you know what I mean? Because I see that. I see them two dishing it out eventually. You know what I mean? Because I could see Shayna. I mean, I could see Ronda putting Shayna over. You know what I'm saying? Finally. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I just feel like it's a play for something else. With just having this match. Something else is going to happen.
Agree with all of us and just say this is a bathroom break. So you know what?
It's too
we're all in the bathroom and getting beer and getting popcorn and shit. You can watch our seats, okay? And you tell us how this fucking match went. Because I'm pretty sure, I think when we were at the Extreme Rules, when Ronda's music, I think we were out getting. That's exactly what we were doing because I was just not interested in seeing Ronda, to be honest. And this match just feels like Shotzi was just a filler. I don't even know why this. I think this is the one right before the Wargames matches. Definitely.
Yeah.
Pretty quick too. I feel like she's gonna tap out.
Hopefully they just setting up some early Royal Rumble matches. That's all I hope. Hopefully they just setting up some early Royal Rumble matches. You know what I mean? And make it and putting some cliffhangers in there. Hopefully that's it.
You know what I mean? Like 30 seconds. She just like puts her in a submission immediately and she just taps out.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and then
just like to
bury
the shit out of her.
Beats her. And after she beats her, maybe they jump her. They jump her after they win, and Charlotte comes back. That's probably what they'll do, something like that.
Charlotte's not gonna help. Charlotte's she's just not. Charlotte's not a good face. I would love to see Charlotte back as much as everybody else does not. I would love to see her.
I know.
And I know Jake, a listener. I know he likes Charlotte too.
I'm just saying, you already got Bailey as a heel. You got your top girls as a heel. You got Bailey as a heel. You got Ronda as a heel. You know what I mean?
You got Xia Li as a heel.
It's a good amount of, you got a few heels right now. So I could see Becky coming back as a face. I could see Charlotte coming back as a face for a while. You know what I mean? To get her back in the groove, you know.
Becky, yes. Charlotte,
I don't know,
because I think no matter what, fans just aren't going to cheer Charlotte.
No, I agree.
They just don't like her.
Well,
yeah, well, I know that.
Well, I
but
mean,
it's
you
a
got,
lot of, it is a lot
you
of
guys
people
be
that like
sitting
her.
down. I'll be standing up, marking out.
She has her fans. I'm not saying she's completely hated.
She's not big on my list, but I can say for a fact that semi-dry chicken is in love with her.
Yes,
So,
I'm not saying she doesn't have her fans, and I'm not saying that she doesn't have a level of respect. I'm just saying, like, just overall, she's just not the one that fans cheer for in a general sense.
I see what you're saying, but she also has that. She has the heat though, ain't she supposed to be getting that? Because she has that like snotty, I don't care how you feel type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Which is why she makes a great heel.
Yeah.
That's not what makes her a babyface. Like if her
she does make a great heel.
Her and Becky Lynch. If Becky Lynch's music was the hit at the Survivor Series Stinger match, fans are going to pop for her. That's why she can come back as a face. If Charlotte's music hits, fans ain't popping.
Nah,
I don't know, bro. That last time Charlotte came back, people were happy as shit, bro. Remember when that last time she came back, shit, people were pretty happy. I wasn't, but people were happy.
I wasn't watching at the time, so I don't know the circumstances around that. But circumstances could play a factor in maybe why she was cheered.
I was pissed because when she came back and people were happy for her, I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna give her a belt again. Everybody's happy to see her. You know, you know what I mean?
And that's maybe the only thing that could maybe get her a pop is that if she's coming back specifically to beef with Ronda, and that would just more or less be an enemy of my enemy situation. Like people dislike Ronda more than they dislike Charlotte, so they'll root for Charlotte just to take down Ronda. And then as soon as she gets the title, she'd be right back to being a heel. So even if she did come back as a face, it would only last for like.
But then we get Natalia coming
until
back
she gets the title again, and then people would hate her again because once again she's the champion. They put the belt right back on her, and they were like, "Oh my God, we're back to this bullshit again. Fuck her." And they boo her all over again.
Remember what Daniel Bryan said? Fans, they're fickle. Fans are fickle.
Damn, Dre, I was gonna buy you a Charlotte shirt, and now I can't. I mean, this guy
save your money.
All right, so I get it. We go to a WWE event, you know, that's just one less O sign I have to give you. If it's just me holding the W and everybody else holding O's, you'd be just like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to partake in the woo sign.
Yeah, but as far as this match is concerned, I think we're all in agreement that this match is probably just going to be a deadweight match. I don't think we're going to see any surprise returns or comebacks involved in this match because Shotzi is aligned with Raquel Rodriguez, who came back last week and helped her out when she was getting jumped by Shayna and Ronda. So we'll probably see her get involved. Obviously, Ronda Rousey's going to win. Shotzi's not going to win the belt. Maybe they continue the feud past this with them two, maybe in some tag team action, just to kill time. You know. Yeah,
they'll make Shotzi look good. Triple H is high on Shotzi, so
she'll put up a strong. She'll give a strong performance.
Yeah, she'll get a good performance because
she'll carry the match. Let's just call it what it is. She'll carry the match.
Hey, bro, Dre, he gave her tank back, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm giving Shotzi her props. She's going to carry the match because we know damn well Ronda ain't carrying the match.
I did notice that. I was like, oh wow, she got her tank back. I guess money's doing pretty good right now for us. WWE.
As soon as I seen her tank back, I was like, yeah, Tripp is putting her back where she needs to be. It's all right.
Yeah, we got some room in the truck. Go on, slide these boxes over. Or you tank right up in there.
I think Dre right though. We might see Raquel come out and save her if anybody. That might be what goes on, and then
that way they can get involved in some tag team action until the next person who steps up to actually challenge Ronda for the title.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whoa,
which probably won't happen until going into the Rumble because, like I said again, they got about 2 months worth of content to fill out between now and the Rumble. So they're not going to jump straight from the Shotzi to Ronda defending the title against somebody else. But a way to buy time with that is some tag team action.
Pretty much.
All right, guys. Well, with that said,
I think Dave's right that Ronda and Shayna Baszler are going to butt heads at some point. When I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's going to take a while. They got to build Shayna up a little bit more before I think they do.
Yeah, I don't know if we're there yet, but I do love Shotzi.
That's a good thing for WrestleMania. That's a good WrestleMania match.
Right.
Yeah.
Let them start to disintegrate around that time, and then you get Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania.
Yep. Give Shayna her a moment.
And with the word of Triple H talking about he's trying to go all out at this year's WrestleMania and really throw everything on the table.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler, that makes a whole lot of sense.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
And Wayne said it earlier. Said Blackheart. Why we're given first and last names back? Why can't we go back to Shotzi Blackheart? Yeah. Why does she have to be just Shotzi? I thought the Shotzi Blackheart was a great name.
I mean, she might want to just be called Shotzi something. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe I thought Shotzi Blackheart was a fucking badass.
It's because
name.
she's calling the Shotzis, man. She's making the decision.
Yeah, it seems like Triple H is going to everybody like, "Do you really like that name?" Okay, let's change.
I like the name Gunther. It's way better than Walter. Come on,
yeah,
man.
that name's bullshit.
I like Walter better.
I think everybody likes Walter better. And then there's Booch. Booch. No, I don't like Pete Dunne. I like Booch.
Booch.
Yeah, Booch.
Oh, my God. All right, well, speaking of bathroom breaks, because this was the bathroom break of matches, this sound is the sound of empty beer bottles all over my desk, and I need to take a bathroom break, so we will be right back.
Sounds good.
Peter, we have got to prove Lois is innocent. That's right. And the best way to crack any high-profile crime case is to do a podcast before you have all the facts. Okay. And the key to any podcast is poor sound quality and tons of commercials. All right, we've got Lois calling in from prison. She's only got 3 minutes.
Thanks for looking at my case, guys.
You bet, Lois. My first question is, do you get a good night's sleep?
No, because I'm in prison and my cellmate is bipolar.
Well, if you get a Casper mattress now, you have 100 days to decide if it's the right mattress for you.
Peter, I don't have time for this.
I don't have time for underwear that bunches up. That's why I wear MeUndies. Perfect underwear for hanging yourself in your jail cell.
Can we talk about the case? I have 30 seconds before they haul me off to the freaking cafeteria.
Sounds like you could use Blue Apron. Have you ever wanted to receive a vegetable in the mail? Then you need Blue Apron. I'm like obsessed with the stir fry. Brian here likes the Moroccan beef. I have no opinion on the Moroccan beef, Peter. Brian, this is not art. This is commerce.
Peter, before I go, I need a new lawyer. This one made a sexual pass at me.
Oh boy, everyone knows hiring is a nightmare. At least it was before ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter. We vastly overestimate how many podcast listeners are in a position to hire someone.
All right, we're back. God damn it. As soon as I started the podcast, fucking cat comes back in. And he's like so close to my microphone. Stay away. You have a bell, and it's annoying as shit. Dude, what did I just say? Ow. Ow, 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 ow.
Mm-hmm.
Ow, 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 ow. You're banned. Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Charlie. He doesn't obey the rules of podcasts. He has no respect. No respect. The next match. Oh, you know what? I have a soundbite for this next match, and you know what? It's not just for this one; it's for the next one, the main event as well. So I think you guys will enjoy this because we didn't get it this year because the man who delivers this line doesn't work for this company anymore. He works for AEW. So in honor of him not being here, here it is.
Wargames! Wargames!
Oh, here it is!
Wargames! Wargames!
Ladies and gentlemen, that was William Regal. If you watch NXT, when he was on NXT, the way he would just announce War Games. I mean, it was just like these teams would just be like fighting every week, and he just there's only one way to sell it, and he'd be like War Games, and it just felt so weird, you know. I mean, just him not saying it this year. It would have been cool if they maybe Triple H would have came out and said it, I gotta put you guys in the matches, War Games. But no, we didn't get that this year. So I thought it'd be nice to bring that back. Just a compilation of just him just saying War Games over the years in NXT. But you know what? We're gonna start with the men's, because I have this funny feeling women's is gonna be the main event. In my
Not
opinion.
happening.
You don't think so?
WWE ain't that damn progressive.
No.
Nope.
All right,
They're still closing out with the top champ.
Okay, then we'll discuss the women's then. But I was like, maybe they'll do the women's. Granted, with the surprise return, I thought maybe, but you know what? Roman Reigns overall, I guess, right? So, all right,
I think they might open and close.
I don't know though. That United States title match, triple threat, seems like a good opener. But you guys, you could be right though, because they've done that before. But with these kind of matches, I would, with that ring being set up, like Dre mentioned, they might just do these back to back. I mean, you feel like it would be the most logical form. In this match, we have Bianca Belair with Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and a TBA to be announced. Michin versus Damage Control, consisting of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, with Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley. This is the women's War Games match. I mean, we're just gonna get right down to it. You know what? It could be a mystery all the way up to the pay-per-view, or you know, this could be something that they talk about on SmackDown on Friday. I mean, it's currently Wednesday, and
they said they were gonna say it on Friday.
Yeah, and my guess,
and the audience did not appreciate that.
No, and I honestly would much rather prefer the surprise. Like, don't fucking spoil it for me. Like, how about you wait and like bring out that, like, let the pop like fucking be deserved. Like, don't fucking tell me.
Not even that, but just like kayfabe wise, wouldn't you not want the other team to know what's coming?
Exactly, and WWE has done that a lot, where they spoil a lot of returns, and I hate it when they do that shit. I mean, it's very rare, but like I always think the best returns were always at like the Rumble, and when they would spoil that and they would like bring these people back a week or two before and be like, "I'm going to enter the Royal Rumble." It's like, cool, man, but wouldn't it have been cooler if we didn't know you were coming? Like, kind of like when Edge came back and he entered the Rumble, like that was a legit surprise. Like, I didn't know about that. Like, I marked the fuck out, you know, like instead of like telling me before the match.
Cena coming back from the pack.
Yeah, like
it definitely could work, but it would have to. It depends on how they format the War Games match. Like, well, let me take it in two ends. One, if they save it for the pay-per-view itself and don't reveal the person until the match itself, then to me, and the way I'm thinking, it's pretty damn obvious who the fifth person would be, because there's only one person who could fill that role and make it be significant enough to get a big enough reaction out of the audience to make it worth it, and that's Becky Lynch. But that aside, I think the way, whether they do that or not, depends on how they structure this match. Classic War Games matches had all members of each team out there during the match. They would be on opposite sides of the two rings and literally on the side of the cage, like, you know, cheering their other person or teammates on in the ring. And when their time came up, they would open the door and the person would run into the ring and join in. If they do it that way, then it doesn't really look good to have 5 on one side, 4 on the other side, and then we get a surprise run-in. It's kind of awkward to do it that way. Now, if they do it where they keep everybody backstage, and then as each person comes in, they just come in through the entrance, you know, a la like a Royal Rumble type setup, then it would really work for them to have the fifth person be a surprise, because then you get the pop of that music hitting in the entrance when it's revealed that way.
Have they ever done it like that?
I don't know in the WWE, because I haven't watched any of the WWE's War Games matches, so I don't know how they structured it. I'm just going based off of the War Games that I've always watched in the past. Like,
they've always been outside.
Yeah,
so again, I don't know how WWE is.
There's no precedent for the individual entrances.
They lock them all into a fucking cage.
That has been done before in the past. It was done before in the past in WCW with It was the War Games match that featured the NWO versus WCW when the NWO was running the fake Sting angle. And it was Hogan, Hall, Nash.
Was that the three-way one?
No. That three-way one was WCW versus NWO Hollywood versus NWO Wolfpack. And that shit was trash. It sucked. It was garbage. I was talking about the one that was back when the NWO feud was fresh and hot.
Okay, they came out individually.
Yes, it was. They didn't play entrance themes for it, but they did have them come out because obviously the runway wasn't as long for this paper for the Halloween Havoc pay-per-view, but it was NWO, which was like I said, Hogan, Hall, Nash. I think John. No. It was only 4 people. It was a 4-on-4. It was Hogan, Hall, Nash, and fake Sting versus Team WCW, which was Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Lex Luger, and it turned out to be the real Sting. It was originally going to be just the Four Horsemen, which at that time was Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Chris Benoit, and Mongo McMichael. But Luger and Sting wanted to get their hands on the NWO, so they advocated to join the match, and Mongo and Benoit stepped aside. And then they ran the whole fake Sting angle. So during the match, you had during when it was 3-on-3, it was Hogan, Hall, and Nash in there, and Flair, Arn Anderson, and Luger were in there, and it was the whole thing like was that the real Sting or was that fake Sting? Did Sting align himself with the NWO? Yada yada yada. And going into the match, Sting tried to plead his case like, that wasn't me. That wasn't me who attacked y'all. That was a fake Sting. It wasn't me. And they were like, I didn't believe you. So then the fourth person came out for the NWO, and it was Sting, but it was like fake Sting. But at the time, they were saying like, oh man, it's Sting. Sting's with the NWO, yada, yada, yada. He comes in there, he's doing all Sting's moves and all this shit. And then the timed out again for the last person from Team WCW came, and real Sting came out, and they got a huge fucking pop from the audience. And real Sting came out there, beat the shit out of everybody, pretty much cleaned out the ring, and then said, y'all don't believe me, fuck y'all, I'm out. He walked out, and then that was the genesis of Crow Sting that we got later on. But like I said, there's precedent for it to work. It's just a matter of how they present the match and how they choose to tell the story and the formatting of the match.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for listening to Dre Recaps Midnight WCW.
I was interested, man. Hey, I was like, you know what?
Next week.
I was like, I'm not going to interrupt him because you know what? He's got them all. He's got the facts. Let's you know what? Let's take Dre's corner. He's going to tell us a little bit of history. I'm going to listen. I'm going to let him do his thing.
Yeah, let him go, man.
That's the thing about my podcast, man. I'm going to let you do your shit. Now, if you were just going to start talking about nonsense, you're like, if you were just going to rant this whole episode about the fucking gobbledygooker, I was like, I might have to draw a line. Like, this is okay. We're going to have to stop. Like, listen, we're not going to talk about the gobbledygooker, okay? Like, I know you love it.
Yeah, no
problem. We're not going to bring it up.
No, you just ruined a joke I had lined up.
Oh, was it a gobbledygooker joke?
I had a gobbledygooker joke ready to go.
I beat you to it.
I'll still give it.
Well, don't worry, dude. My joke was just as disappointing as the actual gobbledygooker. So,
yeah, the fifth person on Bianca's team comes out in an egg. Busts out in this fucking Bianca. It's Becky Lynch.
What if they're in a gobbledygooker costume the whole time until they come out of the cage, and then it's like they walk to the ring, and they just remove the helmet. Oh my god! I'm thinking too much into it.
Okay, I quit. Good night.
This podcast is already off the fucking rails. Oh my god. Let's really dig into this fucking team here. I mean, stacked wise, I'm thinking you're gonna get maybe Rhea Ripley's gonna be the one to go over, and she's gonna pin. I think Becky Lynch, who would be returning, which I think everybody can agree on, because the only other women that might be out on injury that could possibly even come back. Let's see, Aaliyah has been out since September with a elevated first rib and AC sprain, but I don't see her.
She's a SmackDown star.
Exactly. Becky
she also sucks.
Becky Lynch has been out since July 30th of this year. Candice LeRae has, I don't understand if she's injured or she's back full time. It says here she got injured again in October. So that's unknown. Natalia, she had nasal surgery, if anybody was interested. For all those Natalia fans out there, she's been out since November 7th. I don't know if she got her nose bigger, smaller. I don't know. I'm excited to find out. And I think that's it, unless you really want to consider, like, I really don't know who else they would throw on there, unless it's Emma. I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't know. It has to be Becky. It can't be anybody else. It has to be Becky. She's been ready for a while. I mean, obviously her husband's working full schedule, being the United States champion and probably retaining the United States championship. Like, and to have her star power on this pay-per-view, and when she left, we saw she left as a face last time we saw her. So, but yeah, to get the pop we want, yeah. But if Judgment Day, assist Finn Balor and Finn Balor goes over, I could see Rhea going over as well, or at least taking, giving the pin to somebody on that team, being the last one, because she survived all the other War Game matches. But I don't know. I just think this might be a heel win. I don't see the faces walking out. I think Becky and Bianca are probably the last two here standing. And maybe Bayley and Rhea, the last two standing on that team.
Well, keep in mind, there is no elimination in this match.
No. I mean, just when it comes down to the last four, putting that ending together, that's how I see that ending being put together with these four involved. But I see the champ, Bianca, taking the pin, and it's not going to be from Bayley. I think they're going to push Rhea, because I don't think they're going to be doing it with Nikki Cross anytime soon. I mean, to me, it just makes logical sense, because she has, who else is Bianca going to feud with right now at the moment? I mean, Rhea seems logical, but what do you think, Dre?
Rhea. Yeah, it does seem logical that Rhea could win by pinfall over Bianca, and that would seem to set her up to be the next in line to feud with Bianca for the title. Mm-hmm. I think that is eventually going to happen. I just don't know if it's going to happen here right after Survivor Series. Because again, I'm still thinking about granted they could do it, because yes, they do have a 2-month gap to fill in. So we're gonna get some premium level, some PLE level content on Raw and SmackDown. Obviously, because I don't think they're just going to phone it in completely between now and the Rumble. We're going to get some high end stuff. So we could see something like, a women's title match, Rhea versus Bianca on Raw. They could do that, and this match could set it up. My only concern about that is I don't think they're done with the Judgment Day and OC feud. So if that feud is still going to keep going on, then obviously Rhea and Mia Yim are still going to feud. And I think before we ever see Rhea versus Bianca, we're going to get Rhea and Mia Yim one-on-one. I think that match is going to happen first. So that's my only holdup against Rhea getting the pin on Bianca. I do think Damage Control is going to win. I do think they're probably going to come out on top, just because I don't see how a loss benefits them in any way. They've kind of already taken losses, especially Bayley having lost the last women's standing match. So they kind of need a win, some momentum to keep them, at the top and keep them relevant. I think, we're all in agreement that Becky Lynch is probably going to be the fifth person. She's the only name that really makes sense, especially for them having dragged it out this long. Like, if it was going to be a lesser talent, then they would have just revealed them this past Monday on Raw. So, I think Damage Control gets the win. Who gets the pin on who? I could see Bianca being pinned by somebody. I could see it being Rhea. But then again, I just wonder if she gets the pin, how do they buy time between that and her getting a title match? It could just happen and they could just like ignore it for the time being and then let the feud between OC and Judgment Day continue. And then once that's wrapped up, Rhea comes after Bianca. Hey, remember when I pinned you at the War Games match? Yeah. Run me that title.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah. yeah. Doyle, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody thinks. God, I'm really pissed off. I can't tell my gobbledygooker joke now. Anyway, I think, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's going to be Becky Lynch. I mean, nobody else would have the impact. I don't think.
Hey, I'm gonna. Hey, there you go. I'm going on a limb. Kyrie Sane. That's what I'm saying.
Who?
Yo. No.
Kyrie Sane.
But that wouldn't.
She's a champion though, currently in another company.
I don't think that would get a pop from the crowd, really.
I think
anyway,
so.
I think
Oscar's on the team.
I don't know. I think that's a stretch. That's a hell of a stretch. But
I know it is, but
hey, put some money on it. If you win big.
I know, right?
Those some long odds, but I ain't gonna tell you what to do with your money.
you know. Sometimes it's just not who you think it's gonna be.
Well,
anyway, what were you saying?
Anyway, I think Becky will slide into feuding with Bayley, and I think Rhea will become the number one contender to Bianca. I hadn't really considered the whole rest of that's how little I think of the Judgment Day. Like, she's kind of hamstrung at this point now. It's kind of weird to see her back with the women, right? Because we've seen her with the dudes for so long.
She's the best part of Judgment Day at this point.
Yeah,
she's been the best part the whole time, even when she wasn't wrestling.
But I think she's being held back by Judgment Day, really, when she should be off on her own. Maybe she'll leave Judgment Day. I don't know.
I want her to.
She's much better served going after the women's title than she is with establishing safe words with Dominic Mysterio.
You're not wrong.
I know, that's what I'm laughing. He's definitely not fucking wrong. Oh, man.
But one thing, Graves on commentary said something weird about Alexa. Did anyone else catch it? He said something like, Alexa doesn't really seem like she's into this. Like, her heart's not in it or something like that. Did anybody else hear that?
I didn't pick up on that, but if he said that could be planting a seed because there's long been rumored that she could be joining up with Bray Wyatt's faction, with Bray Wyatt, I won't say his faction, but with him, which is surprisingly something that we have not talked about at all in this pay-per-view, is the prospect of Bray Wyatt appearing on this pay-per-view in some way, shape, or form. But we'll see if it happens.
I have material prepared for that eventuality, but like I don't know, just like why. I don't know. Why would you mention that if nothing's going to come of that? So I don't know. Maybe Alexa, somebody to keep your eye on turning somehow. I don't know.
That's interesting. Could she turn on the team and cost them the match?
I don't know. I think this match has a possibility of being better than the men's match, by the way. I wanted to throw that in there. I do think the heels will prevail. And I think it could be Rhea Ripley pinning Bianca to establish herself as a number one contender to the women's title. But I see the heels going over in this match.
Dude, I don't even think it's a possibility. I absolutely believe the women's War Games match is going to be better than the men. These women are about to show the fuck out. When's the last time we got to see the women really get hardcore in a match? We've seen them have great one matches and stuff like that, but we saw how hard Bianca and Bayley went in their last woman standing match, and now you got 5-on-5. Oh, they about to show the fuck out.
Yeah, no, I hope they do. I'm looking forward to it. I think, yeah. I mean, I think this could be the main event. I don't know if it will be, but I think it certainly could be.
It'll be the match of the night.
Whoa.
It certainly could be.
Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi Blackheart is still on the card.
Yeah, unless Shotzi actually shoots Ronda with the fucking tank, that's not still in the show for War Games.
Shoots her in the throat and she can't perform. Dave, what? We didn't hear from you, man. What are you thinking? Let's hear your crazy ideas, man.
Well, the possible, everybody knows that it most likely could be, Becky Lynch that's coming out there. You know what I mean? Everybody's feeling that way. It's time. I've read about her training already. Started training already. I think last month or something like that, or a month before. Mm-hmm. So she's ready to come back. I thought she was going to wait till Royal Rumble, but You
don't think we're going to get a Molly Holly run in?
Well, I mean,
I'm messing with you, man.
I don't know, man. I have like possibilities of who it could be, because Triple H is so hung on his NXT people right now. So you know what I mean. It could be somebody coming up from NXT. I don't know. You know what I mean. I mean, they are making a big deal about the person. So the only viable person would be Becky Lynch, I would guess. You know what I mean? I don't think they'd make that much big of a deal if it was what you say. What's Beth Phoenix? You know what I mean? Or what's the other chick? Oh man,
Candice LeRae, or
is it not Candice LeRae? Old school.
Natalia.
She was beefing with Bailey while Bailey was out.
The fabulous Moolah.
No, not no, freaking oh my God, bro! One of the best divas of all time. Why can't I think
Lita? Cool.
Yeah. No, not Lita. The other one, the blonde.
Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus. I'm catching blanks, bro. Sorry.
I had a whole list. I was going to go through a list of all these terrible fucking female wrestlers to give you.
Hey, listen, bro. I know.
Victoria, Ivory, Tori.
I know.
It's Michelle.
But I'm just saying, man,
Hey, Trish Stratus would get a hell of a pop, but
she would.
It just makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
I know. But we all know that it's probably going to be Becky. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, don't be surprised. You know what I mean? Don't be surprised if it's somebody.
I respect the contrarian opinion. I'm here for it.
I mean, I'm just saying it could be other people. You know what I mean? And Triple H is at WWE. You know what I mean?
If we get the return of Jazz, I'll drop $20 in your Cash App.
He said Jazz. I'm just thinking just him giving him more of a chance to pull NXT people up to the main roster. That's all. But it's some NXT girls down there that are really good, or that are really that the people really like right now. So I'm just saying, because who else is out right now?
On NXT, Tiffany Stratton's out.
No, I mean in WWE. Besides
on the main roster,
it's just Charlotte and Becky, right?
Oh, on the main roster,
that are out and eligible to return. Yeah.
Don't forget about
that's it.
We got what other women are sitting on the sidelines? What's Tamina doing? What's
Tamina
just had a match.
I know.
Tamina just jobbed to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
She just jobbed to somebody. She just lost to who did she lose to? Wasn't it Mia Yim?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she
she just jobbed to Mia Yim.
Yeah. She just jobbed to her. So, that I just was trying to see who else is out, but it ain't really nobody. So
what if we all of a sudden hear "Funk is on a roll" and it's Cameron, not Naomi?
Hey,
well, you know what? If we're talking about if we are talking about a long shot surprise return,
Dre, I think you're going where I'm going.
Sasha Banks.
Yep.
Sasha Banks, right? Yeah, Sasha Banks.
That could be a long shot surprise return.
Yeah.
That would be a good
one.
And
there is evidence she has been training with some people.
And she is from Boston.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That is a dark horse candidate.
But I'm wondering if they're going to come back together again. I'm just wondering.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
But if it's just one person for this match, dark horse candidate would be a Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Even though like we all agree, Becky Lynch makes way more sense. Sasha Banks is a dark horse candidate.
Yeah, she definitely is. She's turned she's turned on almost everybody anyway. So she'll come back as a face and she'll turn again.
Nobody thinks that Triple H called Nia Jax and asked her to come back.
Nia act like she ain't never gonna wrestle again. I don't know.
We want our women healthy.
I hope so.
No, we got enough injured stars now. We're good.
Yeah, really.
Hey, the guys injure people too, man. The guys injure people too, man.
Not as much as she does.
Injured. Nah, I know. hey, if she never injured Becky Lynch wouldn't have been the man. That's all I'm saying. She broke her nose. That's what helped Becky Lynch. I don't care what nobody say. That's what made Becky Lynch the man, bro. She broke her nose, and then Becky had put her on that fit. That made her the man. That's when she started doing the whole man gimmick.
Whoa. Absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. That's called turning lemons to lemonade.
Yeah. You're right about that. You're right about that.
Chicken shit.
Definitely did. That and Vince did that. He was like, because he was like, what did Nia say? It was something. I think Nia said something about him. Vince saying something about her hitting him. Vince liked it. Vince liked that he broke her nose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So he just turned that. He
love it.
Money right there.
Oh yeah, I want to see it. Give it to me. Yeah. Crazy Vince.
We'll see though. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. You know.
Well, with that said, let's roll in here into the main event, the last match, the final caboot. So let me get this straight. In this match, the Brawling Brutes are faces. Sheamus,
in this case,
and
yep.
Butch. Yeah, and I guess the turn really happened at Crown Jewel, right? Is that when you would say that face that turn? Well, that was when we had Sheamus versus Gunther, right?
Yeah. When they started feuding with Imperium, that kind of cued their face turn. Mm-hmm. They've kind of been faces ever since.
Right. Okay. I mean, yeah. Drew McIntyre makes sense. Honestly, Kevin Owens seems the one who's out of left field, but at the same time, he seems like the right fucking man for the job. And they're gonna verse the Bloodline. And honestly, I was even saying in the Discord because I was such a fucking believer. And you know where I got the information from, and I should have not have believed it. Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer believed that Kevin Owens was out with an injury, and fucking fooled me too, because I was thinking, like, all night, like, God damn it, like, they're gonna probably give it to fucking Braun Strowman or some shit. Like, that's just the typical type of, I'm gonna fill in this space because, you know, excuse me, he seems like.
Well, look, I wouldn't rule out the bait and switch until the match actually starts. All right, because we don't know the extent of the injury, if there even is one at all. But like, you know, it could be a situation where, like, oh, Kevin Owens is down in the back. Oh no, we got to replace him with somebody. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so there is. Let's not discount the possibility that could
right.
I definitely don't like that idea.
I believe the injury is. Yeah, I believe the injury is legit. It's just not so serious that he can't compete.
Sure, and what a great match. I mean, as crazy as it is to think about,
it's the perfect match to hide him in because it's 5-on-5, so he doesn't have to carry the load and do a whole lot.
I mean, you think about this is going to be a crazy match with crazy spots, and it is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're at, like, what a great match to hide an injury like that. Right. Pretty easy, actually.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's good on that game.
Sure.
Right here, something released 2 days ago. Here on Bleacher Report, there is reportedly doubt over whether Kevin Owens will be healthy enough to perform at WWE Survivor Series Wargames November 26th because of a knee injury. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, he suffered a sprained MCL during a recent live event. A live event, that's how he hurt himself. That fucking sucks. And has been rehabbing the injury at the Performance Center. He's not moving. Meltzer said that he was told that Owens is not moving very well, meaning he may not be cleared to compete at Survivor Series. Even though he was announced for it, though, like, yeah, you guys are absolutely right. He can hide in that match. Even if it's just like he just has to get past this, and then he has until Royal Rumble to, heal.
Basically.
So, like, yeah.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. I can totally see that.
And he can run a feud without touching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, couple super kicks here and there, but also now it's like when I watch this match, I'm gonna be like watching for it, oh, not the knee, stay away from the knee, like like that's kind of how I felt like when like Edge's first match back or Daniel Bryan's first match back. Like I was always like, I'm always watching. I'm like, ooh, okay, take it easy, take it easy, man. Like you don't have to go, don't do that. You don't have to do that. I'm good. Like, don't hurt yourself, man. I want you to wrestle tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So, like, I know you're wrestling injured. Just don't injure it further, that you're out longer. Because the last thing I want is, like, him to really get injured in this match, and then we get an indefinite. He's out of the Rumble. And then indefinite, he's going to miss WrestleMania. Like, we don't need that. So, if their plan is to push... Because, to me... This looks like where we would get the Owens, Sami Zayn debacle, like in this match, where we're gonna either see these two guys are gonna go head to head, or these two are the main storyline. I think out of this, like fuck Roman Reigns and everything else aside, I think these two guys are the main two of the storyline. Like it's gonna cause Sami Zayn to turn, or it's gonna cause the bloodline to lose, off of a distract something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm not sure Sammy turns yet, but
exactly. Like, these are two key characters in this match that everybody needs to keep their eyes on, whether they interact with each other at all. You know, they might just avoid each other the entire match until there's a point where everybody's down and we get a stare down between these two in the middle of the ring. And that could be like what causes the entire match to, the bloodline to lose, or vice versa. Like, but also you got think of the night after, like Raw, the night after. I mean, it could cost them the match, the bloodline, the match, and they all turn on Sami Zayn on Monday, and wreck him, and Kevin Owens comes out for the save. But we don't know. But all I'm saying is these are two key people, and I honestly believe that, the bloodline is going to walk out here as winners, but these two guys got to play a factor, so we don't know. Drew, what are you thinking here?
I agree with you. I agree with. Yeah. I agree with you that the emotional center of this match is going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. I also agree that the bloodline will likely win. My prediction for this match is probably that, given that Kevin Owens is injured and will probably do just enough to get through this match, he'll probably be the fifth person to come out and probably immediately face up with Sami Zayn. Maybe they do a little bit of fighting, or maybe some other guys jump in and interfere. But my guess is that the conclusion of this match will focus around them. I'm thinking that Kevin Owens might be on the verge of either getting a pin or beating somebody, and then Sami Zayn is going to take him out somehow. He's going to hit him or something to break up a pinfall, and Kevin Owens is going to be the one to tap out. I think this match ends on a submission with somebody, either like Roman Reigns, either doing a choke out or something on Kevin Owens, or maybe they do some combination tandem move that really messes up his knee and takes Kevin Owens off of television for a few weeks, so that way he can fully heal his MCL sprain. I think that's how this match is going to. I think this match is going to end in a way that takes Kevin Owens off of television, and Sami Zayn is going to have to stand there and watch the Bloodline decimate his friend. And I think that's going to disturb him in a way that's going to plant the seeds of him beginning to look at this faction differently. Rather than being so thrilled at being an honorary who's being so happy about it, it's going to be that thing that's going to kind of start to eat away at him and chip away at his affection for the Usos because of how badly they beat the living shit out of Kevin Owens in this match. At least if I was booking it, that's how I would do it. That's how I would do it that way. And then, again, you plant the seeds for Sami to eventually leave the match. Or not leave the match, but leave the faction. Maybe not necessarily leave it, but his faith is shaken a little bit. And because he's no longer as committed to the Bloodline because of what they did to his friend and how that emotionally affects him, that could end up costing the Bloodline in something down the line because of it, again, his shaken faith. And once he makes a mistake that ends up costing the Bloodline, where they cost the Usos the tag titles or something like that,
yeah.
Excuse me, then that would be the catalyst that results in him actually getting kicked out, which would then lead to a returning Kevin Owens coming to save him. So, again, that's long-term fantasy booking. But for this match itself, yeah, I think Bloodline wins. They take out Kevin Owens, doing something to sell him, to get him off of television for a while Sami Zayn either plays a role in taking him out or has to sit there and watch it. But this match is going to be the beginning of the end for the Bloodline, even though they're going to win.
What are you thinking, Doyle?
Well, I both agree and disagree with Dre at the same time, if that's possible. I do think that the Sami Kevin Owens story is going to end up being the main theme of the match. But I think that Sami is going to – I think this is going to be the moment where I think Sami will cost the Bloodline the match.
Yeah.
And that will be the jump-off point of when the beginning of the end of it may take months and months. But I think the beginning of the end is Sami losing the Wargames match. I'm not sure to who. But one thing about this Wargames match, and that we've talked a lot about the old WCW shit and the NXT stuff. We haven't talked about the fact that there's no roof on the WWE NXT version of Wargames like there used to be. Mm-hmm. Now, here's one of the things. Triple H has said that they already have a cage that has a roof on it, the Hell in a Cell. Fair enough. That the roof is too short, and as referenced by, if you remember, I believe it's Sid, or maybe it's Barry Windham trying to powerbomb Pillman.
It was Sid Vicious.
Just way too short.
Yeah, that was the that was the match that
the first one
that Semi-Dry claimed was the first one, where it was the Four Horsemen versus the Dudes with Attitudes. Yeah, and Sid Vicious tried to powerbomb Brian Pillman, but he couldn't because as he flipped him up, he would hit the top of the cage. So the way they sold the match at the end is that he hit him so hard he knocked him out, and Brian Pillman could no longer continue. So it was like the surrender part of the submit and surrender finish. So yeah.
Yeah, so he said he also wanted to differentiate the match from the old War Games, but also, and most importantly, actually, is for camera angles, and that's a big thing. I think we need to think about going into both of these War Games matches, and especially the men's. A lot of the footage, the War Games footage they have of WWE product, is a lot of guys that aren't in the company anymore, right? Is Adam Cole, is Bobby Fish, is Kyle O'Reilly, right? So they want War Games footage with their guys, right? So I know both of these matches are going to have some ridiculous spots in them, right? And I'm just hoping that they're going to be organic and not feel like, oh my God, how set up is this? Right? Because they want to get the right exact angle on it and get everybody in the right place at the right time. I hope all of this stuff comes together and it looks good and doesn't look like they're trying to set it up, like a fucking kid on the diving board at the pool going, mommy, 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 mom. I hope everything comes together and it looks good still, and it just doesn't look like a stunt show. You know what I mean? But I think that the faces will win, and I think that the faces will win because Sami Zayn somehow cost the Bloodline the match, and that is my prediction.
Dave, let's hear yours. Let's hear it, Dave.
Yeah.
Let's hear your crazy prediction.
Well, listen,
just tell me, Dave, when does Rikishi show up in the match?
Hey, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
He'll weave it in there somehow.
I kind of agree. I agree a lot with Doyle about, I think Sammy gives this match to the Brawling Brutes, because the way they had Kevin, retell how, Sammy is still his boy, even though he's doing this craziness, in that last promo he had, it puts something out there to let you know what I mean? Sammy heard that, that's still his boy. See how they looked at each other in the ring? You know what I mean? So I think that this kind of, it's going to start being the fall of the Bloodline. You know what I mean? It's going to start to fall slowly but surely. You know what I mean? And, I think the Brawling Brutes is going to win this, and Kevin Owens and them. I think they're going to win. And Sammy's going to, I think Sammy's going to like distract, either probably most likely Roman, because I don't be surprised if Kevin Owens winds up pinning Roman, you know what I mean? Just to give that future, Kevin Owens, he wants another title run. I mean, he wants another run at the title at Roman. So don't be surprised if that winds up being a Royal Rumble match, Kevin Owens against, the Tribal Chief. So we'll see. I think that might be setting up for that right now. You know what I mean? Between now and WrestleMania. So, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And I don't see Drew sitting out unless they really hurt Drew. I don't see him sitting out and letting the Bloodline beat down on Kevin Owens. You know what I mean? So I don't know. This match could go a couple different ways, but I kind of think that is how it's going to go. You know what I mean? It's going to start going slowly but surely, man. But I don't see the. I'm pretty sure that they're going to have these. Cause I knew as soon as the Usos, I felt as soon as the Usos passed that, they made history with the tag team belts. That I think that's what they was waiting for. You know what I mean? So they're set now. They done did what they had to do.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn being tag team champions in the future. I see it happening.
I can see that. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I see them. I don't be surprised if they're the ones that take those belts off the Usos.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that's going to happen as well.
Yes, and the start of that story is Saturday.
Yeah,
I think we all agree. Yeah, I think we all agree that this is all leading towards Sami Zayn and KO getting back together. I think we just have variances on how they get to that point. Exactly. I think y'all think it's going to happen more immediately at this show, whereas I think it's going to be a little bit slower of a burn to get there.
I don't know that it's going to happen at this show.
It's going to be a slow burn. Yeah, it's going to be a slow burn. But
I'm just saying the fact that y'all think that Sammy's going to cost them the match and get kicked out of the Bloodline.
Not perfectly, not
immediately.
Right, but I'm saying y'all think he's going to happen. It seems from what y'all said, it seems like y'all think Sammy's going to get kicked out sooner than I think he's going to get kicked out.
Right. Are you thinking like
y'all
WrestleMania is when the titles would be taken off? Like you're thinking longer down the road because I guess that's when I see Bloodline 2 losing everything is WrestleMania.
Exactly. That's when I think it all happens. So I mean, we're sitting here
everything all at once.
I think we see not all at once, but I think the collapse, the final nail in the coffin, or the real collapse, will culminate at WrestleMania, possibly. There is always the Roman factor out there, and personally, I still think Roman Reigns should drop the title before WrestleMania. Yeah. I still think that should happen because if they want to do Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, I still believe that does not need to involve the WWE title whatsoever. Because if the title's involved, then we all know immediately that The Rock is going to lose, and you don't need that to happen. The beef. That The Rock versus Roman Reigns doesn't need the title. It already has the natural storyline there. Who's the true head of the Anoa'i family? Who's the true head of the table? That doesn't need to happen to involve the title. And if Roman Reigns loses the title beforehand, and then he's stuck in this place where he's like, where you see like all villains where things are starting to fall apart and they're starting to lose their shit and they're starting to become maniacal to a certain extent.
Where does Roman lose that for him to lose that title for the run that he had and to lose it at anywhere except for WrestleMania? Not saying that Rock should take it, but to lose it anywhere besides WrestleMania, unless he's going to lose it to Kevin Owens at freaking SummerSlam. You know what I mean? I said freaking Royal Rumble, but I'm just saying, like, besides that, where is he going to lose those titles where it's going to actually be great? And he's passing the torch on because it has to be somebody he's pushing. It got to be somebody big time that's going to take those titles to give him a big push.
Like I said, it depends on if they're doing Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. If Rock and Roman doesn't happen at WrestleMania, then Roman Reigns can drop the titles then to somebody. Yeah. But if Rock and Roman happens at WrestleMania, the title, he should not be champion because the title doesn't need to be involved, and it doesn't make any sense to have the Rock versus Roman Reigns, and the Roman is the champion, and the titles are not involved.
I mean, he could.
And at the same time, it doesn't make sense for The Rock and Roman Reigns to fight for the titles because everybody knows Roman's going to win.
Yeah, that's
so. Look, it all hinges on whether that match happens in terms of what happens with the title. In my opinion,
well, something got to happen because I read a while ago that Roman wants to take time off after WrestleMania. Like, he wants to take off time after WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? So,
and if that turns out to be the case, then it makes all the more sense for him to not have the title. But again, all my fantasy booking is contingent on whether The Rock versus Roman Reigns is going to happen, because that changes everything whether that match happens or not. Yeah. Obviously, if that doesn't happen, then obviously he's going to hold the title.
He could also lose the title on night one, and then Reigns Rock happens on night two.
Yeah,
that's a hard book to try to do because then you're trying to book. That's hard. You're trying to book two. Yeah, because then you're trying to book two storylines at the same time.
I know, and all I have to say is that writing crew they got the time right now, man.
Yeah, to me, I think it makes more. Yeah, to me, it kind of makes if working off the assumption that The Rock versus Roman Reigns would happen at WrestleMania, then to me, it would make sense for Roman Reigns to drop the title at the Rumble. To somebody,
exactly.
To drop the title at Royal Rumble to somebody, and then he's obsessed with trying to get it back again. He's lost the title. He's losing his shit. He's flipping out on everybody in the bloodline. He's, you know what I'm saying, he's swinging on Jay for no reason. He kicking Solo in the dick for no reason because he ain't do something. He's just like, he's becoming abusive and all that shit. And everything's starting to fracture. Everybody's starting to turn on him. He's still out there ranting, raving. I'm the head of the table. I'm there, yada yada blah blah. If you smell, Rock comes out, boom. That sets up that feud. Oh, you think you're the head of the table, motherfucker? It doesn't matter what you think.
Hey,
run me my match at WrestleMania, and then that goes there, and then the title is in somebody else's hands, and you can set up another feud going into WrestleMania with whoever wins the Royal Rumble versus them.
There you go. That's some good booking right there, Dre.
Hey, But you can also think what if they make it that if whoever wins the Royal Rumble that night gets a title match that night. You got Cody coming back. And you got you don't know who else is coming back.
Yeah, except that traditionally the Royal Rumble is always the last match of the show.
I mean, yeah, it is, but then again, you know what I mean?
Throwing that long ass match in the middle of the show and then trying to have stuff after it. Woo!
I know
it's gonna be rough because you gonna have a pretty dead audience.
Unless they do the Rumble match early, and then and we know ahead of time that whoever wins that Royal Rumble match is getting a shot at the title right away. You know what I mean?
And then how believable would it be for them to win? Like they just competed in a 30-man Royal Rumble match, and then they got to take on Roman Reigns, who've been sitting back chilling all night. Nobody thinks that they would win.
Fuck that. You know what I mean? They can make Roman fight. They can make Roman fight. They can fight.
Fight who?
Make a fight Kevin Owens, and then he have a hard match with Kevin Owens, and then that shows. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So he fights Kevin Owens and beats Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens does what?
Kevin Owens just loses, and then fucking Cody comes in and he wins. Something like that. They could do that
the same night.
I mean, Daniel Bryan beat all them people in the same night. He beat Triple H and fucking Batista.
Yeah,
and whatever
in two separate matches. Yeah, those are one-on-one matches. That wasn't a whole 30-man Royal Rumble.
Hey, man, I know. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
We like when you guys bicker. You know, we just sit here and listen.
Listen, bro. we know it has to be a person that could beat Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, who hasn't lost to anybody, including Brock Lesnar, everybody else, who's going to have enough spunk to beat him like that. Yeah, like they gotta be. They gotta have.
And that can happen in just a regular one-on-one match. They ain't got to whoop 30 other people's asses before they do it.
I know, but I'm just saying. Look at all the people that fell to him, that lost to him, who we thought was great. They all lost. They all lost, bro.
But why they gotta why they gotta fight in the Royal Rumble now?
Because you know what? You
just
Dre?
Get the one-on-one. You make them run through 30 other people.
You damn right, Dre. You know what they got to
worse than Vince, bro. Damn. Run the whole gauntlet.
They gotta do what Shawn Michaels did and what motherfucking what's the name did in one night. Okay,
Shawn Michaels got 2 months off after he did the Rumble before he had that fall.
I know, man.
You giving this man a bathroom break before he get the title match.
They gotta be a beast, bro. They gotta be a beast.
Roman Reigns finna come out there like a Money in the Bank cash in and shit. Man, they won the Royal Rumble. All of a sudden, Roman Reigns music hit. Come out here and beat the shit out of this dude.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm just saying, man. They gotta be believable.
I like just leaning back. I just prop my feet up when you guys start going at it. I prop my feet up. I'm just gonna listen. I'm gonna shake my head. I'm saying, yep. I'm listening. Oh my God. I'm taking in. He's like when the parents are fighting.
Hey, listen. Y'all gonna be like, yo, Dave's a crazy ass motherfucker. Look, he was right. He was right. I'm gonna see.
Well,
yeah, Mustafa Ali entered number 1, won the Rumble, and beat Roman Reigns in the same night.
Nah, not Mustafa Ali, man. Nah. He is not somebody I would pick.
Ultimate comeback story.
Although I don't know what they're doing with Mustafa, but I guess Triple H got some plans for him. They making him lose, but I don't know.
The stars.
I mean, he's been jobbing since Vince been there. You know,
Mustafa's going to enter the Royal Rumble at number 12 and be eliminated before number 13 comes out.
Yeah. Gonna get the bushwhacker treatment.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they might have Cody win the Royal Rumble, but you know what I mean. I don't know. Then again, they might have fucking what's his name, A-Town Down win for all I know. I don't know.
Or I'm just spitballing some long-term booking.
Ezekiel?
Fuck no. I was going to say, if we get a reformation of the Hurt Business, and Bobby Lashley could be the person to take the title off of Roman. At the Rumble. Maybe we get a Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns match at the Rumble.
That's believable. That's believable.
Bobby takes the title off of Roman, and then Cody Rhodes wins the Rumble. We get Cody versus Bobby at WrestleMania or something of that nature.
That is believable. You're right.
Let's go that route.
I would say, I think they're heating up Sheamus to be the next, and whether or not he's going to take the title, I don't know. But I think Sheamus is going to be the next challenger to Roman. But without a pay-per-view for like 2 months or 6 weeks or 4 weeks, who knows? But
I think
I don't know. I don't think Roman's going to wrestle again. I don't think Roman's going to wrestle again after this match until the Rumble.
Right.
Yeah, probably not.
Do you guys remember who the last person Sheamus pinned for his WWE title win?
CM Punk.
It was
Roman
Reigns.
Andy Orton, right? Or was it Roman Reigns?
Roman Reigns. I think Fox or WWE posted it recently. But that was his last title win. He pinned Roman Reigns. I was like, oh shit. So when you said, the idea of them maybe heating Sheamus up, I mean, that's a stretch, but it's a possibility.
He's a legend. He's a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
And if he's going to,
what's going on with Randy, man? Ain't Randy supposed to be coming back? Is he coming back?
No,
he's still hurt, man.
He's still hurt. Injured. That neck injury is not healing up as quickly as. I don't think he's done, but we're not going to see him back anytime soon.
Do we know that this is? Do we know that this is real, or do we think that?
No, that's absolutely a real.
I'm pretty sure it's real.
It's absolutely real.
All right.
The guy has given his fucking body to us since like 2002. Like, if the fact that he hasn't gone off and fucking made movies like John Cena, he's been here, like, recently with a title run, like, and everything, like with all this shit with Matt Riddle, like, yeah, man, you deserve your time off. Like, take your time off, Warren. Like, I'm
there was
let's not give too much credit for not going and doing movies. Like, that's not easy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, if it was so easy, everyone would do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, he didn't leave to go away for a significant amount of time to go make, a bunch of movies. Like, he made like The Marine. Like, there's a reason, Stone Cold didn't make it as a movie. He tried to do movies. You know what I mean? Like don't be like, oh, he stayed and didn't go to Hollywood. Like, maybe Hollywood didn't want him. You know what I mean? Like,
just because he has that it factor in WWE doesn't mean it's going to translate to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, not at all.
Very few and far between.
Exactly.
Like, off the rails here because we are kind of wrapping it up. But like, I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, I just started rewatching Peacemaker. And just like, I watched it with somebody who doesn't know John Cena from the wrestling aspect. So I just like, I laughed because it's like, this is a guy, I would watch every Monday night or every Friday night, every week since like 2002. You know what I mean? So to see him...
He was the face that ran the place.
He was. But to see him as this character, as like, cursing and dancing around in his underwear and banging chicks and stuff, like John Cena, I saw John Cena banging a chick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is stuff like, it blows my mind as like a kid.
What was the movie... It was the movie where he's like following his kids around on the prom night or whatever. What was that movie called?
Cockblocker?
I don't know, but
something like that.
Well, anyway, you're talking about John Cena.
Cockblockers, but he was great in that movie.
Cockblockers, yeah.
Right? But it's just funny seeing guys like that in that different light.
He butt chugs in that movie. You know what I mean? Like, you want to talk about?
Do you think like, do you guys have the same feeling like when? This is a real stretch.
It was blockers, not cock blockers. It was blockers.
What am I
yeah, cool. Right.
But it did have a picture of a chicken in the name. So it was basically read as cock blockers.
What am I thinking of? What the fuck? No. Do you guys have that same feeling with when Hulk Hogan became an actor? Like, oh man.
Yeah, he didn't have
Well,
the it
I
factor.
think Suburban Commando is really underrated.
I know. I think one other thing we're gonna do is I might want to do like we watch some old ass wrestling.
No holds barred.
No holds barred, like Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny. You know.
You know what we should do is watch Beyond the Mat.
I love those old Hulk Hogan movies. I love it.
Yeah.
Beyond the Mat.
Yeah, we could watch review those. I even thought of we could do a watch along, a party watch along. I've been experimenting on the Discord here with watch alongs. You know, like I watch, like if people want to watch Raw and SmackDown with me, like I'm gonna post a link for it. I've been working on, me and Dre have been working and testing one for Peacock because the app that we were using just was shady and it kept booting us out, but we did eventually find one towards the end. So maybe this pay-per-view, I'll do that too. I'll set that party up so if anybody wants to group watch. Yeah, I mean, you know, since we're wrapping up here, Dre, where do people got to go if they want to find you?
You can find me in the PCW Discord under the name Outlaw Star.
Yeah, you've been on a couple episodes of Pop Culture Leftovers. Talk about what the most recent episodes you've been on.
Yeah, last episode of PCL I was on, we reviewed Black Panther Wakanda Forever and a bonus episode where we talked about some of the latest news and rumors coming out of the MCU. So, yeah, if you want to find me over there at PCL, yep, check out the last episode where we reviewed Black Panther Wakanda Forever. It was a great discussion.
Cool. Doyle, people want to reach you, where can they find you?
I am also in both the PCL and the PCW Discords, and also the Leftover Army Facebook group. Also, hopefully we get Bray Wyatt and LA Knight at the pay-per-view, because there isn't another one for weeks, and we need to see Bray Wyatt in the ring, or this whole thing is stupid. And
yeah,
yes,
I agree. Dave, if people want to harass you and fill up your DMs with all these crazy ideas and yell at you, where can they reach you?
Oh, they could catch me at Chef Boyard Beans 1427 on Instagram. Yeah, they need a nice.
I love that.
Y'all need a nice chef. You know what I mean? Need a personal chef? Hit your boy up. I got you.
Yeah, and if you guys ever want to join our Discord, I always have a link on my Twitter account. You can find me at Twitter, Instagram, and even our episodes are even on YouTube. All at Semi Dry Chicken. I mean, very, very easy. Very easy. You think I would just choose PCW, but no. Semi Dry Chicken seems like a lot more easier thing to remember, and it's never vegan.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave some fucking reviews. You know? These peeps, they gotta leave some reviews. And if you got anything less than 5 stars, I mean, just write it on the back of a $20 bill and send it in to us. And we'll take care of the rest. So, I think this would be the proper way to play out the show. So, take it away, William Regal.
Wargames! Wargames!
Oh, here it is!
Wargames! Wargames! And his name is John Cena! Give me what I want. Give me what I want! Ruthless.
No, it's true. It's damn true.
It doesn't matter what your name is!
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Bye. Have a great time.